airtime. So you go to airtime.com. It's pretty easy. And then I'm going to go to my rooms and find this right here. Come in here. And then we're going to go on. Alright, let's see. There ain't nobody in here yet. So we're going to change the name of the room. Where is it? I guess here. Edit. Room settings. And change this here. And put actually I'm gonna leave this for now. Alright, there we go. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to start bringing people into airtime now. This is what it's like to start from zero with nothing. So one of the things I love about this, oh look, all these people are here. What's up, guys? I'm going to be on airtime, so if you guys want to come over there right now, I'm going to be setting up a live stream. We're going to be streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and starting to share all this information in a way that other people can learn and get them excited about the NFT community, and then we can bring them into our little ecosystem to help onboard them and give them the resources, tools, knowledge, and everything else in between to help them. Is my audio off? All right. Good morning, everybody. There's a lot of people in here today.
Yeah, good morning.
What's going on, guys? We got some new people. Everybody changed their profile picture, so I can't even.
What up?
What's going on?
Good morning.
Good morning. So we're live. We're live on YouTube right now. So I'm gonna start streaming everything and creating a blockchain in the old world infrastructure. So there's a documentation and an archive of all the conversations that happened from this point forward. So if anybody does have questions and they needed something repeated, they can go back to that stream and identify what that is. And my goal from this point forward is to expand this club and this consciousness beyond Clubhouse, and we're gonna work together. I started a mural board last Monday, and we've been working as a group to get everything together so we can work as a team to have a center intelligence around everything that we're going to be doing. There's so many different people in this community, and everybody has so many awesome projects that they're doing. One of the biggest challenges is keeping track of everything and identifying everything in one place. So that new one place is going to be on the mural board, and I'm in airtime now. So if anybody wants to come over to airtime, I'm gonna unmute over here so everybody can see and hear me. This doesn't work, so that's not gonna work for me. That sucks. So I'm gonna have to use multiple devices again, but it is what it is. So how's everybody doing today?
Real good, real good.
It's Friday.
Amazing.
Can't be that bad, Alex.
Coffee.
Yeah, but you guys live in a regular traditional week. I don't have days, hours, time. I just wake up and grind. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what year it is. I don't know sometimes what country I'm in. I just wake up and go. I'm trying to figure this out now because now it's not letting me start this room over here. So weird. We discovered a couple things yesterday. Yesterday morning, we started working on creating a list of ways for people to identify what age group and target demographic would be entering into the NFT space. So each group of people that come into this space are going to have a different onboarding ramp. So if I started as low as 8, maybe 5 to 8 years old, and if you start thinking about what an 8-year-old understands, they're already in Roblox, they're already in Minecraft, they're already interacting with in-game currency, they're already collecting digital assets. So they technically already understand a lot of the really challenging things to understand from a point of view of an adult. I look at it as there's two separate types of people. You got analog and you got digital, and I think that anyone from the age demographic of like 25 and up, if you're 25 and up, you kind of from the old world infrastructure and you learned about the digital infrastructure over time. But the younger generation have been born with like a USB plug in their belly button and an Ethernet cord, and they're just directly connected almost all the time. So their ability to understand where we're moving towards makes so much more sense, whereas the analog group of people need a little bit more explanation and things to explain for them to understand what's going on. Let's see if this works. I think I know why it's not working, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to invite some more people up so you guys can come and hang out with us.
Hi guys, did you guys hear about the timepieces yesterday?
Tell us more.
Oh well, I saw this post from Q from Clubhouse. I don't know if anyone knows him. I follow him a lot. And he posted there was this timepiece collection, and I think the president of Time tweeted about it or something. And then there was a pre-sale on the sides, or the minting at least on the side. But then it went so fast, like it was 4, 5, 5, 6 left, and then the next second there was nothing left. And before the unveil, people were listing for 3 ETH, 3 point. The floor was 3 ETH, and nobody had even seen anything out. For me, that was just crazy, man.
So
And
what part of that project impresses you? Was it the utility? Was it the art? Or was it the fact that the price went up and you're just like, wow, this is crazy? Which part of that was impressive to you?
Well, to be fair, with the whole utility, I mean, as opposed to what other NFT collections have dropped, there wasn't really a lot. I guess just because it was time, the whole they just took advantage of their already existing following, and it just disappeared so fast. So it was the speed for me to answer your question. I had never seen it looked like bots were like bots minted them because it was like 1 sec, like it was an off switch. So I think the speed for me, I never saw that before.
So now, if you could get it cheaper than 3 ETH, would you spend the money? Yes or no?
Hmm, that's a tough question. It depends. Maybe 2 ETH, yeah. But then I'm not really, apart from the next few drops, which I think people would have exclusive access to, or at least
What? I don't know what's going on with my internet.
first up. I mean, but it's time, so it's gonna sell either way. So what
Yeah.
do you guys think?
I think that there's a lot of different projects in this space that aren't necessarily providing any real value. They just have a
Yeah,
way to psychologically trick human beings into feeling like they're missing out on something that's awesome, when in reality it's a group of people who have money and they're able to push this price up at a speed that is ridiculous. I see that you have one of the um, what do you call it, syndicate vampires, the sneaky vampires. And when I saw what they did for their project, they're really actually, it looks like they're attempting to beat the bots and give people an opportunity to grow a real community. If you look at their Discord, if you look at how many people are communicating in that space, it was a lot of people from around the world, and they're all working together to connect, which was awesome.
yeah, yeah, true. Crypto Dance is another one I like. They said they're gonna drop crypto bonds. They have so much merch coming up. I really love.
Yeah, I agree. That project looked from the beginning like they had utility.
Yeah,
And
go on, my bad.
it looked like that group of people had an actual roadmap that was sustainable, and they were doing something that was kind of cool. So I think some of the things that I want to do in this space is to start onboarding people and giving everybody an opportunity to see like what the process looks like, how to get people to understand how to even identify what a really good project looks like. It just seems like everybody comes into this NFT space with this idea that it's like a lottery ticket almost, and you're gonna buy another Bored Ape, and it's gonna go from point zero 0.06 to 50 ETH or something like that. And I don't really think that that's a realistic way to approach some of these projects. Some of these projects, it takes a lot longer for them to sell out, but I think that over a period of time, if they're creating a real relationship with their audience, it's giving people the trust that they need to want to invest in it and stay invested in it over a long period of time. One of the
Thank
biggest,
you.
huh?
I was saying thank you for that, man.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges is that when you see some of these what do you want to call them, like game related NFTs, that one of the problems is they didn't build the game yet, and it's going to take a lot of time. So they raised the money by doing the first initial sale. It sounds cool, everybody likes the idea, but the idea of waiting 6 to 8 months and tying your liquidity up for that amount of time is just sometimes not feasible for some people, and they just want to get in and out of these projects because they're just speculating and trying to make money.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that. About the topic in general and about the concerns that you had. Um, I think that we need a few tools that should be available to us within the next 3 months. Um, we need a onboarding app, a place where we can send all the people who are curious about NFTs but know nothing else. to help with that problem. I love what you said about identifying quality projects. That's also another thing that needs to be focused on, is to be able to have a point of reference to where people can say, I know how to identify quality NFT projects. So it was really awesome that you pointed that out. And also having projects that are really understandable for people that are just completely new to the space. An example would be chessboard NFTs for Chess World. I mean, it's a no-brainer. A person that buys a chessboard NFT would easily know that it's to play chess in a chess world. And because chess is such a simple game in regard to development, being able to develop the chess game isn't a 6-month process. It can be done in 30 days. And then putting some type of clause in the purchase of the NFTs so that people feel safe when they buy them. An example of that clause is, we're raising money to develop a game or a metaverse. In the event that we don't develop it in a timely fashion, we'll buy your NFT back. Being able to create some transparency and some integrity is a big part of being able to push this community forward. Also being able to have curators such as yourself, Alexander, people that can give people a NFT checklist, so to speak, a health checklist. All of those elements are essential. I thank you for the space, and I encourage everybody who has any level of NFT experience and skill to collaborate with the people in this room and in Clubhouse to see what we can put together to be able to bring quality and transparency to the NFT space. Thank you. This is Q. I relinquish the mic.
So I agree with you, and one of the biggest challenges that I've seen in this space since we started this in January was that there's no central location for the information to be stored. So I built a series of videos to help people walk through, but if nobody watches those videos, then nobody's going to get onboarded. And in my heart, I feel like there needs to be stages, and you can't go to level, a stage 2 if you haven't completed stage 1, right? So it's like playing a video game and you're little Mario Brothers and you're on the first level, and they make it just easy enough for you to get the confidence that you're like, yes, I got the flag, I win. They see the little fireworks, you're excited, and then you get to the second level of stage 2 of level 1, and you die like 9 times, but you beat level 1. You're excited because you can see like an excitement, you know what I mean? Like there was that hook that got you past the first stage. So if you can't pass the simple stages in the beginning, what I feel is people jump into clubhouse rooms that are in a more advanced, language, and they're using words, and the person that's listening to this room doesn't even understand what they're talking about because they don't know what minting is, and utility, and like, what are some of the other words, like liquidity and gas fees. Like think about what would you do if nobody helped you learn Clubhouse, and you just tried to jump on Clubhouse with no instructions, no information, and you're sitting here going, what is this? And it took you a little bit of time, and then you got comfortable enough, and then you moved in. Now, like, this is your new drug. You're addicted to this platform because it gives you access to things that you never had access to with other social platforms like Facebook and Instagram. To be able to connect with people around the world and do different things, and share ideas and stuff. But with every new innovation comes new challenges and obstacles. So you have different types of trolls and different types of people who interrupt and distract the conversation and move it in directions, and you want to be polite and share, but you also want to keep it somewhat on a path. So the only thing that I think makes sense is building a repository and a location on the internet so people can come, whether they found us on TikTok or Twitch or YouTube or any of these other platforms, having an outreach program on every platform and bringing them into the community where it's interactive and living. So that's what I got for right now. But I'm going to open up this mural board. I have the link pinned in the airtime room so everybody can see that. I'm gonna open the mural board, and then what I do is I take notes. So as we communicate and share ideas, instead of them just being heard for 30 seconds and then that room closes and it never touches air again, I'm gonna be documenting all of these ideas and all the things that we're working towards to create this location where we can all come back to and enjoy. So if you guys want the link to this and follow along, I'm streaming on YouTube live, and you guys can also go right to the link inside. I think it's called airtime.com, and you can stream it from your computer or from your app, and this way people are going to be able to communicate openly and freely. I think if I could figure this out, I'm going to add the stream from YouTube in the airtime too, so you don't even need to download anything. You can just open the app and see it right from there. YouTube. And I'm just getting used to doing this. I never did this before. We got Glassy in the house. What's up, dude? How you feeling?
Ooh, doing all right. Getting stuff done.
Nice.
Just laid out a nice little soundtrack to the Genesis drop for the WTF Genesis drop coming out. So that feels good. Getting back into my music roots.
Lovely, lovely. So I basically started a mural board with like the master vision of everything, including how to onboard people who've never even used anything before, and this is all brand new. We started yesterday a concept for what would a generative art project look like for people who've never heard the word NFT before, and we came up with the blockchain babies. And what we want to do is create a project using artists in our community and have seasons. So every season has a limited run, and that limited run walks through a group of people through a cohort and gives them the ability to learn how to open up a wallet, get ETH into that wallet, and then purchase their first NFT by minting it from the website, and then they can sell it on the secondary market or they can hold it. But by holding it, I was thinking using pacifiers as the unlockables that we can airdrop to them in the future that will give them access to different stages. So now people can have something that was like a significant piece that was done by people in our community and has value to the people that we are because it came from us. And now when the person buys it for the first time, they're going to have to make some hard choices. Do I keep this and save this because it was super special to me? Or am I going to sell it because I want to make a little bit of money and move on to the next project? I don't know what the next project is yet, but the idea was to walk people through something that had a little bit of fun, really cool art. The utility was designed to onboard people through this stage and give people an understanding of the whole process. And for the artist point of view, walking our veterans through processes like creating generative art, creating libraries, working on the devs, creating a Web3 website. So it's a learning process for two sides of the coin, the beginners and the advanced, and we're all working together to create this coin to help grow and expand this community.
Sounds phenomenal.
I love it. I love it.
We were also talking like Mr. C was on stage the other day, and we were talking about doing races, like onboard races, like race Mr. C to see who can get more people on, like onboarded faster. And Mr. C has his like little 15-minute and even faster process. I know there's a far deeper process and all kind of learning that has to go into the longer stages. But everyone on stage was just rallying and like loving that idea that we could actually like make this viral to think, like, how can we race to get another 10,000 people into the space so they each have one of these collectibles?
So this is what I see in my head. The race needs to have captains, and we're going to take the leaders of the people in this space who claim that they know and can participate in the space at that level, and we're going to create like a captain and a pod of people, and then we're going to all go live on a stream, and we're going to document the journey, and we're going to create like a reality TV show that people can watch and vote and share. And if you want to make little side bets on who do you think is going to be the best captain and who's going to be the winning team, I think if we could do it like that.
Oh, we get the betting in. that's such a good idea. Bring the DJs into the picture. I love that idea.
This is not financial advice. But I'm saying...
But it is cultural advice. And it is sovereignty advice.
That's total sovereignty advice. I love it.
Listen, if we could make it fun...
You're recording this, Alex, to protect yourself.
No, you know what it is? I just want to give people transparency. Everybody has things that they want to say about me behind the scenes and back channels and then other things. Listen, if you don't know who I am by now and you don't know what I do, that's because you weren't paying attention. If you just came into this room and you just saw a few things and you heard me talk once or twice and you're like, okay, cool. I'm not here to go for a cash grab. I'm not here to grow a few flowers and to hand flowers out. I'm here to grow a forest. I'm here to cultivate a movement. This has been in my heart since 2013 when I first learned about Bitcoin and somebody told me, you need to buy Bitcoin. And I asked them, what is it? And they said, I don't know. I can't explain it to you, but this is the movement. This is what's going on. This is where the future is. You need to learn as much as you can. And I'm like, I go on YouTube. There wasn't many videos. I couldn't figure it out. I downloaded thousands of hours of stuff and just kept grinding through it. And I just bought as many as I could back then. And then my friend goes, dude, all the people who are making money right now, they're doing mining. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, mining? He's like, that's what they're doing. We got to mine. I'm like, okay. So I gave him 25 Bitcoin. He bought a whole bunch of mining equipment. And it was like right before they went from CPU to GPU. And within a few weeks, we were spending $18,000 in electricity. And all of a sudden, all of our rigs were outdated because they updated the technology. And now we have a bunch of equipment in the basement with 5 or 6 air conditioning running 24 hours, 7 days a week because the amount of heat that those computers were generating were cooking us. And I lost pretty much all the Bitcoin, and the mining experiment was not made for residential. So it didn't work out in my favor. And I ended up just saying, all right, cool. If we held those 25 Bitcoin, it would have been a way better move, but we didn't. Another situation is I lost my seed phrase. I bought a lot of cryptocurrency in 2013 up until like 2015-ish. And I remember buying Dogecoin when it was 0.000001. And my friend was like, yo, we're going to use this and I'm going to pay you in Dogecoin. I'm like, all right, whatever you want, dude. I don't care. I was putting thousands of dollars a week into that thing. I didn't know where it was going, but I was like, yo, this is funny. And we just thought it was a game. And then I lost the seed phrase. So somewhere, somehow, I'll probably never find it, but for the people who don't know, I was at the top of the world. I was living in a penthouse suite in downtown LA after, moving around the country doing Ultra Music Fest, Country Music Awards, NASCAR, NCAA Championship, Monster Dam. I was entertaining audiences. I was doing building stages, lights, audio, sound systems. I was videotaping, shooting the behind the scenes and making little promo videos. I lived the life. And then after this whole Bitcoin thing and I moved into the hoverboards is what jammed me up because they started blowing people's homes up. Not my boards, but the boards that were on TV. And then customs stopped allowing them to come into the country and our boards got stuck in customs. And I basically went bankrupt. I lost everything I had. I moved out of the penthouse suite into a tent on Skid Row, and I lived there for about 8 months. And my spirit was broken. My visions and everything was distorted. I didn't know what was real anymore. Also, my father and my stepdad passed away right before I moved out onto the road full time. So, there was a lot of things that were challenging in my life that forced me to ask a lot of really deep, dark, challenging questions. And for years, I didn't even have answers. I was just running from the pain. I didn't want to deal with the pain, so I just kept moving. And then it got to the point where one day I just sat there looking at, I had an iPhone, I had a charger, and I had a tent. And then I would walk around and I would do little things to make a few bucks to eat and just share whatever my talents and skills were to make a few bucks. But I was like, how long do I want to continue like this? I just woke up one day, I said, I'm done. I started hitchhiking. 56 cities later, I got back to New York and I met the group of people who I was working with in the staging industry, and they were like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm broken. I'm over it. And they said, we're going to help you out. So they basically gave me a job. They gave me an opportunity to get back on my feet. And then after a couple of months, there was a falling out with the two partners and I had no job again. And now I'm like, dude, what am I going to do? So I had no vehicle at the time. I had no money. I was making like $500 a week. and I just kept stacking my little $500 and spending just as like I was just trying to grow a bank because I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything I wanted, and then I ended up borrowing a vehicle to go meet this girl that ends up being my wife, 5 years later in Connecticut. And I started like figuring out how to become more like ready for the future. And then right when COVID hit, this is like recent now, last 2 3 years. Um, I got a phone call from somebody in the entertainment industry, and they asked me, "Hey, can you build me a metaverse for a convention trade show?" And I said, never tried to do this on my own. I remember in 2001, I was playing in Second Life and some of these other platforms, and I was building flea markets and trade shows inside other people's infrastructure because I believed that there had to have been some way to create commerce inside that 3D world. So I was like, I don't think people who are gonna go to like a conference are gonna want to sign up and have all the noise and like distractions of a third party solution. So I started looking at how to build it custom. So I learned Unreal Engine, Blender, and about six other platforms, 3D Max Pro, and I didn't sleep. I stayed up for 7 8 weeks straight, and I built out a whole thing with photorealistic avatars that can represent each person, and created this whole interactive experience. And I showed it to them, and then I told them how much it was going to cost to do like this the streaming of it, because now you need to have a computer that you're renting that's in a server that's powerful enough to onboard and have all these different people inside that one little web version of this metaverse. And the prices were insane. Like the client was like, yeah, we don't have that much money to do this. So that kind of really just got me upset and pushed me back. And then I found Clubhouse, and at that time all I cared about was Unreal Engine. I just wanted to know, how do we get to this new world? I saw this new world with Unreal Engine and what they were able to do, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So 5 a.m. one day I found a Bitcoin room. I started sharing some of my crazy ideas, and they're like, dude, you need to learn about NFTs. And I'm like, all right. We're back to that same exact moment in time when I found Bitcoin and nobody knew what it was. 2017, NFTs were born, but not too many people were talking about them. There wasn't much information. There was definitely not any Clubhouse rooms about NFTs. And I woke up one day, I went on Google, I said, what domain can I buy that has the shortest number of characters that has NFT in it? And I found that nfts.tips was available. I bought it, and then we built this brand around that name. And we built the website. The website in the beginning was absolutely hideous, but I didn't care. I just wanted to create something, put a flag in the ground and say, we are here, we're going to learn. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything, but I did know that by opening up rooms and holding space on a daily basis, we're going to grow. And it started with 3 people in a room talking about what NFTs were, and they were sharing the information to me. And then I said, all right, cool, let's go. And we start opening up rooms in other people's clubs. One of them was the videographer's room, because I'm by trade a videographer, and a photographer. So we started in the videographer's room, and then we grew beyond that until we were able to just hold rooms every day. And I was like supported by Glassy and a few other people. I don't know if they're in here right now, but those people came in here, and they basically decided to learn and share what we were learning together, and we were all learning all this information at the same time. There wasn't no guru in this space. There wasn't anybody that said, I know everything. There was BitBuzz, who was like a super collector and had a huge portfolio of stuff, who had a lot more understanding because he's been in this space for quite a bit of time. And he was like a father figure in my eyes. Like, he came in here and he gave us some really good information. And like, anytime I heard him say like, I'm getting into a project, I was like, yo, I gotta check this project out. But mind you, I didn't understand how to read Etherscan. I don't know how to do all the things that these guys do. And then we got people like Alan Henna. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's like a super genius, and he has the ability to understand all these things and do all this background search and research and development. And I'm just like, I don't know how they do all this stuff and how they can identify things. So it took me 8 months to get to where we are today. Like it took me like it feels like years of just digging and figuring out and tinkering and creating Google Sheets. I'm not a smart person. I'm just an average guy that has a passion and a vision, and I don't have the know-how to do it. So I depend on other people around me to help me figure things out. So if we can have an area where there's different departments, because not everybody in this room cares about creating NFTs. Some people just want to be a consumer. Some people just want to collect. Some people just want to trade. Some people want to create. Some people are in music. Some people are in video. Some people are in real estate and they want to come up with new ideas to sell real estate. Some people are into the metaverse. So every single person that's in this room right now has a different reason why we're here. What's cool about that is that we're all from different walks of life and we're coming together to one location and sharing and giving insight into a new opportunity that's available for all of us. And I've met friends in this space that there would be no way I would ever cross paths with these people in my life. There's no actual connection other than the NFT space. So it is possible that you can develop, and cultivate relationships that are going to last a lifetime if you so choose. Or you could pick up a couple of NFTs if you even know what an NFT is, because we have a lot of new people in here, and I don't even know if you guys are looking.
I think this room is actually more than 1,000 people right now. If you scroll down, you can see. And my name is Lady. I'm a survivor of being in NFT rooms, NFT tips rooms, not just NFT rooms. Okay, like NFT tips rooms that lasted 3 days long, that didn't close. That if you were like trusted in that 3 hour period to go on, like it was difficult. And I would say that Alex didn't sleep. He was up 16 hours, like maybe closed his eyes for a minute and like, oh, this new idea, like I got it now, I need to bring it to the community. And so a lot of my research has been a lot of deep diving in this space. So, for the vision and values that me personally I have in this community, Alex resonated with that shit, and he offered the space for me to pitch a concept one day. And I was like, oh shit, now I have like 17 artists interested in my project, And that was an amazing thing. So I'm just giving him his flowers and acknowledging all the things that he says is no cap. And if you don't know what no cap is, then go look it up, because it's a new like way of saying stuff that is and isn't, no cap. um, Alex was the lead on so many different, like, yo, I got this, and you don't even know, and oh my god, I'm driving back. But what caught me was somebody was researching me and then heard and listened to something that Alex said about building community. He said that he was inspired by what Alex said about, I guess you could tell your own story, Alex, because I don't know the actual story. You saw that the community needed like $1 or two or something like that. You passed your hat around in the community, and then they gave like $17.
What happened? That I don't know if that happened digitally, but it happened in real world when I went to Sierra Leone, West Africa, and I was working with kids that were orphans and suffering from blood diamonds and the mining and everything else. And these people were like massacred in front of the parents were massacred in front of their children, and the kids had to say, do you want a short sleeve or a long sleeve? And the kids had to say something, and then they either cut your hand off, your arm off. And when I went there to work with these kids, my heart just went out to them. And every single step I took, people were asking me for money. And I didn't have a lot of money. I said, I have this bag, I have a skill set, which is in entertaining. So I entertained a group of people, and I said, all right, everybody that's here right now, I want you to put whatever you have in this thing. We have 100,000 people who are hungry right here, but we have nobody that has enough money to buy food because everybody's scattered and fractioned. And I see everybody as an orphan spirit. So they took the money. I put $20 in the bag, and then everybody else put their coins or whatever they could afford and put it into this bag. And then somebody went with the bag and bought food, and we fed everybody in the village. And that experiment is not just the story. You can actually go on the mural board. I found the video and I posted it in this mural board. So if you guys want to come and check that out, I'm not making this stuff up. This stuff really happened, and I was inspired by a higher power. and my goal is to teach people that trying to go through the NFT space alone is challenging and scary and frustrating, and you're going to want to throw your computer and your phone down the stairs and scream and yell and curse, and you probably are. But the end of the day is, once you figure out what this is and you understand at your core, I asked people when I started slowly coming back onto Clubhouse after, not being here because I got married and went to Europe for about 2.5 months. I asked the people who were still around, I said, how much money could I pay you to leave the NFT space? And everybody goes, well, why would we want to leave the NFT space? I said, why? What would have to happen for you to leave the NFT space right now? And there wasn't one person in that room that could identify why they would leave. This became a new path, a new way of life, a new lifestyle, and it changed a lot of people's lives. There was a lot of millionaires made from the NFT tips rooms. A lot of people took the information, they ran off with it, and I can't blame anybody, but nobody taught them about how to refill the well. So everybody that took the money, they kept the money, and they didn't do anything to help onboard or grant access to new people and to share the information beyond whatever they were doing themselves. So they kind of forgot where they came from. And I just want to install principle knowledge at the beginning and guide people with integrity and show people what's possible if we work together. There's no way you're going to want to do this alone. This is a group activity. This is a team building activity. There's different sections that need to be accomplished in these different projects. And most likely you as an individual do not have the skill sets to understand all the different layers and things that need to take place.
Hey Alex, can you please share a little bit more of your Sierra Leone story, bro? Because that ties into what you were just saying in terms of not just the micro level with supporting NFT tips as a community, but different causes that are out there that if people that aren't listening, they might not be aware of what you can do with NFTs with that. That's one thing, but the second of all, the bigger picture. What are your thoughts, Ben? The reason I asked, the reason it resonates is I'm involved with an iron ore mine out of Sierra Leone, and they've got to actually give money back to the country. And I'm just interested to hear your story. I don't want to hold up the stage too long on the topic, but can you just share a little bit more of just how people can use the NFTs to support those causes and what you've done there? I just want to find out where we might be able to do something, bro, to be honest with you.
My experience in Sierra Leone was probably 15 years ago. I was doing a nonprofit organization called We Share Smiles. I work with magic and puppetry. And I basically went out there because I met somebody in America that told me that they have 3 orphanages. And I said, let's go. I want to go there and make a difference. And one of the things, and this is beyond funny, but I went there and I ended up teaching people how to farm. Like, what the hell do I know about farming, right? But I see the same parallels of what's going on right now in the digital space. That there's things called farming, DeFi, doing different things. So like I came into this land, I know nothing about anything, and I identified that there was a school of kids that are sitting there in this heat, and they're just like sweating, and their attention span's not even there, and I'm just like, okay. So what's going on with this? What do we got? Like, we got a bunch of kids who aren't even paying attention, and what do they really want? What is their goal? Who are these people, and what do they really want? And I said, you know what? Like, just looking around, whenever these kids had free time, they wanted to play soccer. So the government donated land to this area, and the land had debris and shrubs and overgrown grass and everything else, but it was a huge property. And I said to the leaders of this little village and schools and stuff, I said, if we can inspire these kids to clear the land, we can have a soccer game. Well, they call it football, right? So I said, let's create teams and let's see who can rip off this land and clean it up and get it ready. And the reward would be we get to play soccer. So they had 350 kids, and these kids were like the Tasmanian devil. They were ripping things out, and they were so motivated because they wanted to play that we were able to clear the field and get it ready in like a week, where it would have took 4 men like 7-8 months to clean the land. So like, to me,
Wow.
all the people in this room, you're all little batteries, right? And if we could figure out how to stack the batteries, we're going to be able to figure out how to move machinery and move things in this space that wasn't possible before, because most people don't understand how to work on a team. And it's crazy, but it's true. So then after we got these kids ready to clear the land, they play their football, they're all excited. Now they look at me like, oh wow, you're so cool, we got to have fun. And I was like, all right, now we're going to teach you about, how to grow crops and feed yourselves and do things like that. So I spent time with all the different elders of the village, and dude, they had a stick and a water spigot, like a little thing that you would water flowers with, and seeds. And they would just go in and use the stick, make a hole, put the. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is your technology. This is what they had. So we created little work groups and educated the kids and gave everything like that. So these are just
That's so good.
these are just things that happen, and I videotaped and documented all the things and created little things. Now you have to understand, most of these kids never seen themselves in a photograph or a video, and I'm walking around with I look like probably an alien, right? So I'm running around showing these kids they were the happiest human beings I've ever met in my life, and I was asking myself, you know, I walk in and I look at everything, right? These little kids are literally, some of them are wearing Spider-Man pajama pants, like I'm just like, wow, look at this. Some of these kids are wearing retro 1980s t-shirts because they were donated and forgotten about, and then they ended up here, and these kids probably either received them or they paid small dollars amounts for them. But if you were to bring them downtown in LA, you could probably sell those same shirts as vintage and make thousands of dollars. But my point is that one of the things I noticed in America, and this was something that was tearing me apart, is that if you give a kid an iPhone, and if it's not an iPhone 13 Max Pro with a terabyte hard drive, they like almost scorn you. And then I'm in Africa, in Sierra Leone, watching these kids chasing a bicycle tire down the road with a stick, and they're slapping it on the side, making it just keep roll. And they had the happiest smile on their face, and they had nothing. They had no shoes on their feet. So I'm sitting there asking myself, where does happiness come from? And why are these kids so happy? Like, they taught me so much about humility. When I came back to America, I was really like mentally challenged about certain things about the society, about, oh, okay, cool, I thought by giving people money and access would help them, but in reality the people who had nothing and just had to learn how to live with what they had were the happiest human beings I've ever met. And it's like, how can we take these places now the other thing, NFTs are going to reach the world. They're not just for people who live in New York City or LA or Miami. There's people in Africa and other countries, in third world countries, and China and things like that are using NFT protocols called, I guess it's play to earn or something like they get paid to play. So they play games and they're actually earning crypto and making their rent money or making their electrical bill playing games. So when you start realizing that there's a lot more that's going to be included, it's not just a JPEG, it's not just an OBJ file, that there's actual utility behind these things, that you can have a nonprofit benefit from you donating money because you raised a lot of money and was able to do things to support a cause or a group of people. The other thing is that everything's transparent, everything's stored on a ledger. So if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, there's people who can sit there and look at the blockchain and say, well, you didn't actually send the money to where you said you were going to do it. You put it in your own pocket. So I lost faith in your beliefs, and I don't believe in you anymore. We're taking our money and we're leaving. And that's going to happen. Not everybody's going to deliver on everything that they promised for whatever reason. And we have to be aware of that. Just because they have a really cool website or a really cool roadmap does not mean that they're going to actually finish it. There's a lot of challenges, obstacles, and one of the biggest challenges is some of these projects are making like $2 million. So if you just made $2 million in a half an hour, do you think that person wants to go to work tomorrow? Or do you think they want to go shopping for Lamborghinis? That's a challenge that we're all going to be faced with. Why are you here? What are you really going to do with your time and energy and space that you've held? And who do you want to be known for? And these are the real questions. Whether it's NFTs or DeFi's, the name of the room's nfts.tips because that was the domain name that I found that was available. But what I believe, what we're teaching and cultivating is sovereignty. It's about teaching you how to be able to move in this new infrastructure that's being created, and it's either going to be created by others and we're just going to have to live in it, or if we can choose to work together, we can be the architects of the future and design it the way that we want it to work.
I love that. And Alex, hearing you and your, like, I just got to jump in and I'm going to drop the mic because there's a lot of people in the room and I can waffle on, but I just want to say I'm really inspired by the core of what you are, bro, the authenticity, and that the NFT tips is, I think, you know, going back to your room the other day in terms of branding, and I suppose, like, it is much more, and I'd be considering that as a group because I've seen that in these rooms. For anyone that's listening, all those topics that you cover and the core of what you are as a leader, going back to the rooms in the last couple of days, going to Sierra Leone, teaching them about how to grow their feet, like, you're just inspiring, bro, as a leader, actually doing that stuff. You're not just talking about it, and you know what I'm sure many people can relate to that, listening to people waffle on like me, and you don't know who's real, who's not, but everyone knows you're real, Alex, and I'm just grateful that you're back. I'm grateful to be associated with NFT Tips and to be able to learn from you, bro, and to be able to not be fighting that fight that you're fighting on your own, on my own, because similar things I'm also very passionate about. Some things you're further down the road on, but it's definitely about what you said, that sovereignty, enabling more creativity, enabling more freedom, enabling any creatives to get paid direct from their skill sets, their knowledge. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to see that since the start of the year with NFT Tips. Glad to have you back, bro, and someone else can talk. If not you, someone else that wants to respond. So that's all I've got to say, Alex. Thanks, brother. Look forward to catching up with you and Glassy as well.
So Glassy, I wanted to just let you know if you want to jump over with me in the airtime, I'm streaming live on YouTube, and I got the mural board open, and I want to start building this idea of an onboarding race. What are the prizes? What could we give away to make it worth their time and energy to learn? Is there separate prizes for the leaders? Is there separate prizes for the teams who can accomplish it? What do you think?
I think I think that there needs to be privacy, right? But at the same time, like forward-facing, like transactions. Like, are you actually doing what you say you're gonna do? Are you actually doing what you said you're gonna do? You know, and that private conversation needs to happen in your private channels. You know what I mean? And then your public-facing information that you give the public, you're giving your public your access to everything that you've done, right? To make sure that we know that you're you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Would it be possible to do a room reset? I just walked in and I'd like to follow along on YouTube and just, is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. We if you just came in, we have an app called Airtime, and the reason I like Airtime is it's similar to Clubhouse. One of the challenges I have with Clubhouse is I can only send 40 links and 40 messages before Clubhouse smacks me for spamming. So Airtime has a little feed that doesn't disappear and doesn't go away, and the club doesn't close. So it's a 24-hour club that you can jump in at any given time and participate in the conversation. And it has a chat window similar to Discord or Telegram, where whatever information is put in there by anybody in the member, anybody that wants to participate in the conversation, it doesn't get deleted. It stays there. So everybody can come in. I pinned the mural board that we're working on right now. So as we grow as a community, I wanted to have a centralized location where all the information is being stored so we can work as a group and as a community, but it's all being tracked and documented so everybody can come back to it and add or learn or share at any given time. So eventually this board's going to have thousands of people working in it 24 hours, 7 days a week from all over the world, and they're just going to be building out different strategies, different ideas, different projects. One of the things that I learned before NFTs was running social media is not fun and it's not easy, and creating content and being innovative on a regular basis is not, you know, something that people really want to be doing every day. So what if we had a group of people who were specializing in social media that are able to create a library of either onboarding materials or things that were going to benefit the community, and then the community can download that library and then use automation software and just have scheduled posts on several different social medias that are designing them to educate people about NFTs and bring them into the community. So if we're able to do that, our expansion and our growth is going to be monumental. So it's just a matter of taking the people in our community who are good at what we do and figuring out what their actual skill sets are, building smaller teams that are actually capable of being like workable. Like some people aren't able to create everything they need. They're just doing what they can with what they know, but there's so much potential that if we can identify who the members are and the active community members, we can all team up and accomplish different areas. Like one of the other things that was really annoying to me since the beginning was everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants to buy NFTs. And the challenge was, where does the money come from? So if we can identify where the money comes from, and then we can create a pitch deck team of people who are really good at making pitch decks, then the work that comes into the foundation gets segregated into different pitch deck makers. Those pitch deck makers get proofread by another team. Then there's another team of salespeople that go out and present it and sell it to these companies that need help. And then there's money that comes into a pool, and then that pool is delegated to the different teams that have been founded and are working. And now you have different areas that need to be accomplished, and we have trust that was built over a period of time to get these people to move the projects along. And there's going to be multiple projects at multiple times, and right now there's not enough people in the machine to make it work. There's a whole bunch of little gaps in between. So it's like, how do we get everything to work as one well-oiled body? You know, we have a heart, we have a brain, we have arms, we have legs, and everything else in between. But now how do we combine them together to turn it into the actual rendered version of what we all see and envision as a group?
Alex, one, I'm going to say for everyone that's watching, get on airtime. It's so good to see you visually as you talk, and it's synced up perfectly with Clubhouse as you talk. No delays, which is also just a little cool thing. Mate, how do other platforms partner with NFT tips? You know what we're doing, and you know it's not going to be done with segmented communities and platforms. You know that by now. What's the best way for organisations and platforms to partner with NFT tips?
Well, one of the things one of the things I recognized is we have celebrities that are coming into this space, and the term is cash grab, right? So these people come in here and they're like, yeah, I'm going to come in here. I got 17 million followers, and I'm going to just come in here and create an NFT, and the whole world's going to buy it, and I'm going to make $3 million in 24 hours. Let's go! And then they post a room, they do a drop, and like 14 assets were sold. And then they sit there and go, wait, what happened? Why didn't I sell out? So I started digging, and I look at the audit accounts to look at their social following. So let's say they have 17 million followers. There's a high possibility that if you're not paying Instagram, your voice and your information is not getting out there. So you're going to see a small percentage of those 16, 17 million followers able to even see that post. So Instagram's only going to gatekeep and give maybe 0.06% of that audience an opportunity to see your post. So now you got 150,000 people approximately who can see the post. Now, how many of these people who are your super fans are going to go through the pain points of uploading your passport, finding a utility bill, and uploading that to buy something that they don't understand, they don't know, there's no understanding of crypto or wallets or anything else, and now you're expecting them to jump through fire and everything else to buy something that it's digital and they're never going to physically own it, and that's like a foreign concept to them. And then you're going to ask yourself, well, but I'm a celebrity. Everybody should just follow what I say, right? So it was people in this room that were able to hold rooms and open up the conversation and answer questions and go through crisis moments where like things go wrong. People do projects and at the last minute something happens with the smart contract, something happens and it's the emergency crisis mode. Now everybody's mad, everybody's pissed off, they're impatient, they got pitchforks, they're ready to burn the company down because of a small little hiccup. And if you don't have the tenacity and the strength to stand up against those people and calm them down and give them the confidence that you're really gonna do what you're gonna do, just be patient. I've seen projects completely fail because they fumbled the ball in the first 5 minutes of a drop. So if you've never done this before, if you think that you're just gonna come into the space and just take advantage of people, I would say maybe 5% of those people are gonna be lucky and potentially pull something off. But the rest of the world, I don't see it happening. There's so many scams. There's so many different things. You got people who are literally minting a contract, and then there's another group of people who are exactly stripping all the assets that you just uploaded and uploading it on a separate page that they just changed one letter, and now they're uploading assets and selling it to a whole group of people who don't know how to look at the contract and see if that's even a real contract, and they're buying assets thinking that they're getting a deal, but they're getting robbed. So if you think that you could just come into the space and be like, oh, okay, cool, I got it, I watched the video, okay, I'm good to go. Yeah, you got a lot more to learn there, kiddo.
Hey Alex, this is true. And I'm just going to step in and say, hallelujah, because smart contracts are overlooked. Artists don't know, and what you said is so true. I miss Jen, because one of the things Jen did, and what I do, is keep the royalties with the artists. Have someone, anyone, look at your smart contract. Alex, I love you, dude. Let's do the community. Let's protect these artists.
So here's another thing. How many people know the difference between a private contract that you made, a custom one, and an OpenSea open contract?
But even past that, Alex, what you were saying, tips is not just NFTs and contracts. So I was more on a macro level, like, without going too far into it, like, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of what are the other there's NFT partnerships and, you know, help with launching NFTs and the support you provide with the management and your knowledge. But when you start talking about the other rooms I've been seeing with digital wearables, DAOs, blockchain privacy, I mean, on a, you know, I know you're officially a non-for-profit now, so can you just extend on what you just said a little bit, please, bro?
Which part?
Just on the macro level with all the, you know, you're a non-for-profit, NFT tips. You are doing a lot in the NFT space now, but as you said, it's so much more. The ability with DAOs, the ability to understand what's going on with DeFi and
all right, so let's just start with the vocabulary, right? People in this room are going, what are you talking about? If they never heard these words, they're just sitting there like, all right.
You simplify it, bro, and you know what I'm saying, though. I know you understand, so you break it down.
So DeFi means decentralized finance, right? DAO stands for atomized, what is it? Decentralized atomized organization. I can't even say the words, and I don't know who comes up with these acronyms, but the big and small of it is it's a new structure that is now being like created similar to an LLC or an Inc. that is giving a group of people the ability to work and vote, and they all have the ability to guide the organization based on what they all believe in and their voting power. So we were approached by a lawyer early, maybe 2 or 3 months into this, and he said, "Dude, I see what you're doing. I want to help you. I want to, help you set up a nonprofit." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to have nothing to do with a nonprofit. I ran a nonprofit. The doing the minutes and tracking and bookkeeping and the scrutiny and everything else. I don't really want to do it like by myself. I'm not interested." And he goes, "Come on, man. This is awesome. You're doing such great work. We need to help you out." So he convinced me. We started that process. It took us like 6 months to get the 5013C status, which means that we can now give a tax deductible form to the people who donate money. So that's awesome. But the goal and the idea is to now build groups and teams of people that can now educate and grow different parts of this space. So the NFTs, like when I first got into the Bitcoin was like email, right? Even though it's finance and everything else. But when people learned about Bitcoin, they didn't understand it and they didn't know why they wanted to understand it. And my question was in 2013, where is the user adoption? And nobody can answer that question for me. And it wasn't until I learned that NFTs were a thing that my light bulb went off and I said, this is the period of time that it's going to happen. This is the gasoline that's going to be thrown on the fire. This is when you're going to see the users come. And what does that mean? That means that the artists, the creativity, the utility, the reason to come into blockchain now is the support and everything else that you see from all these different artists and reasons. Your favorite celebrities are coming into the space and they're trying to figure it out with us. And they're trying to understand, well, what is this? What are we doing? What do we got here that makes sense? So it's like taking all of this information and disseminating it. And we just got, Patrick, he's at the bottom, his name's Random Like You. He was one of the first people that came in here. He goes, "Alex, why are you naming it NFTs?" I was like, "Dude, it's just the buzzword right now. I understand. But the goal is to take this information and share it with the world. And NFTs is where the front door is, right? Once you start buying the NFTs, then you're going to start learning, well, this is crazy. And your brains are going to get spun. But just because you buy an NFT does not mean that there's somebody jumping behind you with more money than what you paid for it to give it to you so you can make money on your purchase. It doesn't exist. If you don't have, the term is called liquidity, there's no way for you to earn a profit because there's no hype, there's no marketing, there's no reason for somebody to give you more money than what you spent. So if you go to OpenSea and you see all these projects that are being launched and then you see the price going from 2 ETH to 3 ETH to 5 ETH to 7 ETH, well, if everybody tries to sell their assets for a denomination and there was enough people to do it, you would see these floors moving at the speed of light, but they're not. They're staying at a specific, consistent level, and then there's other tools and things that people are using like robots and offers, and this stuff is not as real as you think it is, right? One of the things I discovered was you don't need the offers to be tied up in an escrow. So the money's not really there. So if you have 2 ETH and you make a 1.5 offer on 1,000 assets, whoever accepts that offer first gets the money and everybody else just has an offer on their asset, which is not tied to anything. So they can potentially create a false sense of hope and raise the floor or lower the floor based on your emotional relationship with the dollar amount of that offer. So some people could potentially consistently lower the offers and get people to buy it. As soon as they buy it, it changes the algorithm and the database information showing, oh, another one just sold for this much, another one sold for this much. And now the market gets soft. They can lower it just enough. Then they come in and scoop the floor. They sweep it up. They take all the little ones. And then they go in and raise the floor. And then they start selling it and making a profit. And then I didn't even realize this, but there's commissions. So now, just because you want to sell an asset, let's say you want to sell a Bored Ape right now, and it's $130,000, you got to pay 2.5% to the platform OpenSea, and another 2.5% to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is a 5% on the whole sale. So you think Like there was one moment in time where the market on the Bored Ape floor fell, and I was like, oh my god, I can sell my Bored Ape for the offer, and I can scoop up a floor ape and make a profit. Well, there was no profit. Why? Because first, the offer wasn't real, and second, the profits were killed by the percentage that I would have given away. So unless you got like a 3 ETH buffer, you're not making money. So like these are things that you guys have to really spend the time to learn and
Yeah.
go
Hey,
through.
Alex, I'm looking at your screen, right? On the anyone that's not on it, jump on it. It's so good to see you on the video and the Miro board at the same time. With all these teams that you mentioned before, and I come back to my question, I've got some resources on our Miro board, some that aren't down in our roadmap, for example. But I'm happy to share, bro, like some of these ideas and applications and blah 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 blah. How do we contribute to the Miro board? How is it structured? Can you just provide a bit more guidance around that, please, bro?
Well, I think it would be useful if people could actually see. So if you guys want to watch and learn from the actual thing, you go to airtime.com and find the NFT tips room. I'm video streaming live. I have the board live on screen so you guys can see it. I created with a group of people, we came up with a bunch of different ideas of what was important, and we discovered that there's different things, teams that would be needed to make this community thrive. So the first one was moderators. You got different platforms, so Discord, Airtime, Clubhouse. We need people who are going to run consistent programming. We got media teams, people who can generate content for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter Spaces, Discord, a team that's going to figure out how to monetize projects, a decentralized finance department, DeFi, a group of coders who understand Solidity and Web 3.0 contracts, a community development, wearables, which are outfits that people are wearing inside the metaverse, a VR AR department, grant writing, bloggers, public relations, people who are able to do blogs and create articles and send them out into the universe. And then we can, like, imagine if we had a list of 100 bloggers that wanted to have content and they don't know how to get interviews and they don't know who to talk to, but we have 35,000 people in this club. What would happen if we said, okay, everybody is going to go in single file line and they're going to go through the circuit and they're going to get interviewed by every single person on this list of bloggers, and we're going to create a massive and abundance amount of stories and origin stories for some people who've never been in this space or don't even know where they're at, and they're just like a beginner and they have value too. Everybody here has value, whether you've been in here for 5 minutes or you've been in here for like years. Every single one of us has a different, unique point of view and perspective, and we're going to be able to share that perspective to either help people who are exactly like us or the people who want to learn and are scared, and a beginner is able to explain it in the freshest beginner terms because they don't really know all the jargon. They don't know all the crazy language and all the slang that we use. So they're going to explain it in a way that could potentially be more efficient and effective than somebody who's been in this space for too long and they just want to use all these crazy words because they think everybody understands them.
Alexander,
Yeah.
or Alex, I'm having trouble seeing the Miro board. Now I'm onboarding to Airtime, so I might be like in GMI here, but I can't see a Miro board on your Airtime.
So are you on the NFTS tips Airtime right now?
Yeah, I can see you in
Okay.
like a nice T-shirt,
It's
and
a
I can
black
see
one.
a lovely picture of a resort.
Yeah, that was where I got married. So if you click the area where it says click here to enable playback, it will give you an opportunity to sync with the screen of YouTube. And then you can change the volume in that video so you don't hear an echo.
Well, I've clicked there, but I don't see a Miro board.
And it's better on horizontal as well. I was struggling to see it in a small screen when I have my phone vertical, but if you switch it horizontal, it may give you the other option.
Oh, are you seeing like at the beginning? Because you have to take the little white bubble and bring it all the way to the 2 hour mark, and you'll be able to see where I am right now. So it kind of starts from the beginning and gives you like it's not.
All right,
Yeah.
that solved it. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
I can see now. I'm tracking. Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, like imagine what would be the power of a group of people who work together to just create massive amounts of information that has value and shares to the world, right? So then we need
Right. And the structure is great. All those things you just said, keep on going.
so then we got the deck makers, people who are able to like make the presentations of different things that are able to be done. Medium articles, regular articles, a team that could do automation, people who understand the different tools and resources. If you could just start plugging in websites or tools so people come in here and they're like, oh, okay, cool, I didn't know about that tool or whatever. Another thing that's super crazy and serious is taxes. You know, like let's say you sold a Bored Ape for $130,000. Who do you go to talk about taxes? What do you do? Are you going to get stuck with a 40% given back to the group? Uh, we're still in the discovery phase of that. But there has to be ways to protect ourselves and to not like lose everything to a 40% loss. Then we have toolkits presenting a list of different tools and resources and subscriptions to the community. So I want to create a toolkit that was Mr. C's idea. A web team, people who understand how to create and generate Web 3.0 different things. Over here, I started a master directory. So if you want to take a screenshot of your Clubhouse, your Twitter, you drag and drop your little like profile. So now we can literally just take this person and say, okay, where does this person belong? What is this person's role? Who are they? You know, you guys change your profile pictures on every platform. I can't always identify who people are because you guys change your visual cues for me to understand. So if you have a database or directory area over here, and then over on this side when we first started, I wrote like little keynotes to every person here. So we have an idea of who these key members are who wants to participate in this thing. So you're like, oh, okay, cool, this guy does this. I like videographers. Let me reach out to this guy and talk with him and have conversations. So my goal is to figure out who's who, create databases. Then we have over here, I created all the.
Sorry to pause you, bro, but I'm looking at this live stream and I can't see your mouse moving. And if you're showing different things,
There's a delay. There's a delay. I don't know if you can.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's live. Like I'm seeing a very zoomed out Miro board on the live stream.
Right.
Airtime.
I'm watching it on a separate computer and it's saying the Google Drive assets.
Oh, it's maybe.
If you're showing Google Drive at the moment, cannot see it. All we're seeing is the Miro board. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone else? But I'm only seeing a Miro board that's quite zoomed out. Yeah, now it's moving. Yeah, go Alex.
All right, so one of the challenges that I witnessed during the Miami event was we had all these different project teams working together. There was a Google Drive with all different assets of different folders, but nobody taught me how to use Google Drive and how to use the hierarchy and everything, and it was taking me forever to find certain file assets. So by having all of the assets in a little frame over here, we're able to go in here and say, okay, cool, I need this, or I want the collectors club, or I have different folders. All the assets are right here, and you just click on the link, and it brings you to that area or that file. I have an area for the logos, so if you're trying to build something with the logos, you got the logos right here. So everything that you need is easy to access, and it's here. So instead of having Trello boards, one of the biggest challenges with Trello board was that you have all these different boards segregated from the rest of the community and they're all working independently and nobody knows who and what's working together. So if we have different areas for, like this to me is the metaverse for NFTS tips. This is a two-dimensional metaverse where we have different areas that we can go in and work together in different departments or different teams and grow as little micro groups. I don't know if this is going to work. This is just a test, but I believe that if we can synchronize, we'll no longer be asking the question, what's going on? we're all going to be able to come to this page and just see, oh, okay, cool, look, this is a new area, this is being developed now, let me go and try to figure this out. And then if you don't understand, maybe we can put a list of people who worked on this, and then you can ask them questions about how this works. So I'm just going to go quickly through this so you guys can see like the process of how we created and generated some of these things. So
just while you're doing it, bro, just so you know, that I can't remember the application, but ask someone in the community, but you can connect the Miro board to some of the metaverse experiences as well, just for that audience.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Miro board, like on Miro.com. Is there a link somewhere for me to
Yeah.
view the Miro board?
it's pinned on the airtime chat. So if you come over to airtime, all the information is being shared right there. And then you can interact with the Miro board
I'm
yourself.
on your airtime, but I literally just you onboarded me during this clubhouse.
Awesome. You're gonna fall in love with it.
Alex, can I say something on your little groups and communities helping each other on a real world case?
Go ahead.
It's from Mongolia with the penguin here, and I'm sure Alex remembers me when 5 months ago I stepped into his room. I was like, hey man, Alex, I want to develop like Mongolia and like teach them about NFTs and like do all this stuff. And he was very supportive, and he was like, yeah, let's do rooms together, let's teach you. And like also Pips, I think he left, he helped me with a lot of rooms. And then now after 5 months, right, like last Friday, Mongolia just launched their first marketplace. Now the population, a lot of people know about NFTs. And for example, if you like go to my Instagram, I just spoke on like Bloomberg about NFTs, and that's just crazy, you know, like it's blowing up now here, because what started as just like a one person having interest in it and trying to like develop somewhere. Well, I'll keep this short. So the point I'm trying to make is like what you're doing, and everybody in the room, like if you believe in it and you learn it, it made a real difference in a real country in the world. You know, Mongolia is a small country with 3 million people, but somehow this information in these groups are were able to make a difference, and that's what happened. So I want to, you know, just say that this is very like, you know, how do you say it, like motivating, inspiring, and this all helped even this small country. So I want to thank you for that, and I just want to say to the people listening that this is very important. You know, most information seems like it's there or you know it or something, but to us in developing countries where most people don't know English that much, you know, it helps a lot.
Of course I remember you, dude. I'm proud of you that you actually took the time to become well versed and knowledgeable in a space that you can actually help people in different areas of the world that might not have access to English or this information. So thank you, dude.
Thanks, man.
And I also want to add, I found the Miro board. I'm gonna make it.
Let's go. Hey Patrick, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, good, good. So interesting what happens the last half year. In which world we are living. Everything moves so fast. It's so amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, can you just see where I've just put some stuff on the board? This is a thing moving forward in the housekeeping, I suppose, like for submissions of ideas, or you can see I'm at the top on the mirror board. Let me help bring them in. There you go. This is just more regards to like anyone that wants to maybe put a cause that they want to support, sustainable development goals, or you know royalties from their NFT. You know, so that this is a use case for what we're doing right now. So if someone wants to build that into their contract and have social impact attached to their thing, but even just the submission of I've got other things in our mirror board which I'm very happy to make to bring in. So what is your submission sort of process for people as there's other stuff that might not be related to what I just posted, so do I just find a spot and try to put an A-frame around it, and if it's not already on the platform, or is there what's the best place to see the map of this whole miracle look, because you know it's a never-ending or if people don't know in the room, it's a never-ending whiteboard. So it's there's a lot of space. We can put our ideas and stuff. So how do we? All right. So I'll let you explain, Alex. I'm sure it's in your head from what I'm seeing you doing.
I'm just trying to figure out, look, you created this area. This is something that's close to your heart. Put your information here so people can connect with you or communicate with you, and put your profiles and stuff so people, if they have questions, answer. You know, they have a place to click and talk to somebody, right? So you become like the ambassador of this little region, right?
Okay, cool. All right, that sounds good.
So let's go here. This is what I think is the most important, is trying to figure out the fastest, easiest way to onboard people into the space. So I don't know if it makes sense to do 50 to 100 people a day. My vision was to produce a webinar that basically runs 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's completely automated, and it gives the blueprint of everything that needs to happen to go from point A to point B, and they can learn about the webinar through Clubhouse, Airtime, and other social platforms. But I think in my mind, the webinar would be after they get to Clubhouse or Airtime, because they need that confidence and that 101 room. So let's say there's a 101 room that is produced and runs daily, that helps people figure out this space and gets them excited, right? And then they go and learn about the webinar and they sign up, and then that gives them the understanding of everything that needs to be done, and we can do that race or whatever after this webinar, after they have some sort of foundational knowledge and they learn about the security and the seed phrases and everything else. Then the next thing I see is what is the path that people who don't know anything about crypto, nothing about NFTs, what is the path for them to discover NFTs? So let's just say they know nothing. They heard from a friend, Instagram, Twitter, news, newspapers, articles, somebody in the news or the radio, and now they heard about NFTs, but they still want to know more. They just know a little bit because of what was told to them or what they heard, and they want to know more. So then they find posts on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else. They find Clubhouse and Airtime. They watch a few videos. They talk to a few friends. They still aren't 100% sure, and then they find the nfts.tips community. Once they find the nfts.tips community, then they're able to come over here and spend some time with us in person, interact with us, and then that gives a place for people to enlist to a webinar, which is that first area that I showed before. And then we can teach them the basics, get them a wallet, get them to buy ETH, learn about the security, and then they have an opportunity to buy the project that I started working with a group of people to create over here, which we'll go over next. And they could buy their first blockchain baby. So this is a representation of where they are in the blockchain and gives them the confidence of buying and owning and being like an actual NFT owner. So being able to identify what it takes to be a buyer is going to give you all the tools and understanding of what is necessary to become a seller. So some people are going to get off the train here and they're going to be like, I'm done. We're going to do our thing now, and we're going to just hang out and do our thing, and I just want to buy NFTs. So that might be where the train ends for them. But the thing that they're going to have started is their own portfolio, and they're going to have relationships that they built with the community. And that alone is a win, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the project, I just see that Joseph jumped on board. Somebody nominated Joseph and Jeff Jag to be the artists for this first project. And I don't know if you want to accept that, Joseph, but it's pretty funny. They were like, yo, we need Joseph G in here. Oh, by the way, Joseph, we're on a mural board and we're streaming live from now on onto YouTube, and we have an airtime window going, so I'm video chatting. I got the mural board up, so if you want to follow along, you could jump over there. We got a bunch of people in airtime right now.
Alex, I think I'm tracking now. Is it 100% like you guys are building a project in real time using community through the Miro, Airtime, and Clubhouse? Is that
Correct.
What's happening right now?
That's what's happening, yes.
Dope.
Sicko.
listen, everybody wants to do everybody wants to do something and not everybody understands how. So if we can walk the community of the advanced people to figure out how to generate the project and the beginners benefit from actually buying their first NFT, it's a win all the way around, right? That's what I see. And guess what? There's going to be all kinds of obstacles and challenges and things that are going to bump our foot and we're going to have to figure it out. But let's not get mad. Let's just work together and go through this and figure it out. So the blockchain babies, it started with moms. Quasar goes, let's take pictures of our moms. And I'm like, dude, nobody wants to see everybody's moms and that's kind of personal. But what if we think of it like a baby? And I just got married and everybody's second question after they say, oh, congratulations, Alex, is when's the baby coming, right? So now my wife is reading hundreds of books on how to prepare her body for this new addition to the family, right? So she has to prepare the space, which is what we're doing now. We're creating a space to prepare this new project to be born into the blockchain, right? I like that. Born into the blockchain. This is what we're teaching people how to do. I love it. It just happens sometimes. Born into the blockchain. Right? So now that could be, oh man, I don't know what happened. I have to reset this thing maybe.
I also just discovered
Mirror played up for me too as well just now.
What was?
Also, I just discovered that if we have multiple monitors, like I have, you can download Miro and as an application too on your desktop and like move it to a different screen, and that way have like whatever you're doing on your main screen and have one like on Miro, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Sick flex.
I'm on the computer and it's super fast and seamless. I really, really appreciate this tool. I've been doing mind mapping for quite some time now, but having a tool that's free, that's open source, that gives people access to your information and data is priceless. And my mind is a deep, dark hole, and just being able to dump it out and be able to just clear out my thoughts was super useful. So let's go back to born to the blockchain, right? Um, we can have different babies for different blocks. So we can have one for Ethereum. What the hell happened there? Ah, it's starting to get glitchy. Let me see this again. Click this, drag this here.
I think it's playing up at the moment. Mine's on the same.
So wait, what was it? Ethereum. We kept.
A quick shout out to somebody that's in the audience. Her name is Carell Gordon, and yeah, she's like one of the ones that really, really, really helped me into this space.
Awesome. Matic. What else? What other chains are important? Solana, I'm hearing a lot of noise about, so we should probably have Solana babies. So like each of these projects. Oh, we should have Tezos babies, Tez babies, Tez heads. So like each one could have their own like brand, right? Tez heads. So the Matic, the maniacs. I don't know. So we come up with these different brands, and then we have different seasons. So the first season we're gonna onboard people into ETH. Then season 2 we're gonna onboard people into Matic, and then we're gonna have opportunities for different timelines to happen, and we're empowering different artists to have featured, and then we're getting their artwork in hundreds of people's wallets, which is really cool.
Alex, may I speak, please?
What's that?
This is David. How are you?
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you. May I speak, please?
Sure.
Thank you very much. I want to just say, I want to be very clear. I am the person, something like I am studying to get the knowledge and the information about it. See? And for me, it's very strong sometimes to get to be inside for long meetings and all the time listen how the people is speaking about the wrong activities or the faults or the people don't have experience. And the conversation that can will be 50, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So,
the way or can be something like don't lose the focus in this. I don't know. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of webs. It's a lot of videos. It's a lot of communities. So every person want to start and be successful can be confused and just get a bit hard and go out for the try. Uh, I don't want to go out for the try. I know this is the future and this is the best choice. I can do it right now for me, for my people, for my family, for my dreams, for my goals, for everything. So just I want to express that if you want to create something like the case, the study, you can do it with me, for example. I can help you with make the something like the assistant for write something, some document or development something. I can do it. I'm an accountant, so I have knowledge and information, professional skills, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. And if you see yourself being able to plug into this space, come onto the mural board, put yourself into the master database, and then when people have certain questions and you can identify who you are in the space, you're going to be able to make new relationships just because you participated in this little onboarding room that we're hosting right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm very emotional to be here. Everybody speak here is very professional, and I feel here something like a baby. But I think it's the opportunity for grow very faster and be successful in the dreams and get the goals. So no everything is bad, and for me it's a blessing to be here. Thank you.
So you just made me think of a whole new thing. So I'm going to start building from scratch over here. We have different stages of a baby too, right? So you got the crawling. I don't have a baby, so I don't know what the actual things are. But I'm just gonna like come up with ideas. So you got the crawling stage, you got the walking stage, right? We got the babbling stage. They start babbling and making noises, right? We got to identify what these different stages are so we can identify where they are in the NFT timeline, right? So maybe there's like mile markers and this becomes the roadmap. So the roadmap of a baby is they need to learn how to crawl before they can walk and then they can run. Like I don't I just see things and they come to me. So I'm just sharing this. Maybe we can build into this a little bit more.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna put a different color here, and we're gonna create this as the roadmap for newbies. Somebody used a word. It was funny. I don't remember what he called them something. He had a nickname for these people who are coming into the space. I don't know, but we got Joseph. I didn't get to hear from you. What's up, buddy? How you feeling today?
Good. I was looking for. I thought you were live. It said live stream from YouTube,
Yeah.
and I was looking. Is it going to YouTube and airtime, or is it just going
Yes.
to airtime and then you're gonna go?
No, it's on YouTube Live, and I'm copying the link into airtime so everybody on airtime can see it. Now, my goal with this, and this is gonna blow your mind, but there's no reason why all of us can't become social influencers in this space. So I am using myself as a template, and I want to teach people what's possible, and eventually we're going to have hundreds of different rooms and different departments and different people streaming live and documenting this journey. We're going to teach the world how we did it, and if they want to come back and watch the first video, they're going to be able to go to the first video and learn just like everybody learned today.
That's brilliant.
So everything's being recorded also.
It's being recorded through the YouTube stream.
Okay. Sorry. I'm looking at it in three different places. Like I'm listening to it on Clubhouse and seeing you on airtime, and then all right, now I understand. Cool. Finally, we can record. That's the game changer, right? So you can document the whole thing, the whole process as it goes.
Yep, that was the goal.
Nice.
and it took a long time to get here because I didn't want to break terms and services, but I'm at a point now where we're at critical mass. And if we can work together and figure this out, and if Clubhouse is okay with putting a little red dot and everybody's okay with being recorded, great. If not, great. But we're going to keep doing it until we figure out a better way and a more efficient way. But right now, I don't know the answer. I've been breaking my brain to figure this out, and eventually we're going to have teams of people streaming 24 hours, 7 days a week from all over the world, and we're going to become the actual strongest, fastest growing NFT community in the world. Let's go!
Let's go!
What's up, Mr. Pips? So, Mr. Pips, I know we got some things going on, and I wanted you to, if you feel comfortable, share a little bit about the liquidity of some of these generative art projects and how you discovered a way to empower the buyers to actually have an opportunity to learn that there's more ways to sell your assets. There's new protocols in town, the new kid on the block. Can you do a little quick introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Pips, Forex day trader. I do a lot of stuff. Yeah, so what I discovered in my deep dive, because I do deep dive research on early adoptive technology and stuff like that. So yeah, we just everything that Alex told you guys about discovering the false hope and the manipulation on OpenSea and in the marketplace is true. We used ourselves as case studies. As you know, I'm board 8 holders. I hold a few. But the one that I hold in my main wallet that everybody know, I had liquidated. And when I went to liquidate it, the liquidity wasn't really there. The offer was rejected, and then lower offers started coming in. This plays on the emotional side of us, and so what that then does is either makes you sell, get nervous and have paper hands and sell, or you just hold. But if you need the liquidity, what are you gonna do? You're gonna sell. So, so we started doing more research and we started to learn about liquidity pools. And what I discovered with a liquidity pool is that you can actually set a real floor, not a fake floor, a real floor where liquidity is actually there to be accessed when needed. And so in doing this, I created a liquidity pool for the crypto pills, and we are also working with creating. Well, it's already created, but we're just waiting for Owo to announce it to his Afro-Droid community. And so that's just a little bit of some of the things Alex and I and another member of our team has been working on and just trying to crack the code on how we can add value in to this community and empower this community. Pills, I'm done talking.
That's what's up, man. So taking the time to actually do some deep dives and everything else. Let's jump off of this. I'm gonna go into Etherscan now, and I want to show you guys some of the things that we discovered, so you guys can learn with us. I like to jump around and break things up sometimes because sometimes going through this stuff just gets boring. So let's just go to OpenSea. OpenSea. How many people know of a really cool project that's just been minted and created? Anybody?
Crypto bills.
All right, so let's go to crypto pills, right? So we go.
Oh my god, we're using something that's a little bit weird, right?
Why?
Think
What's weird about crypto pills?
because they're a community of scale that has initiated their process and they have rules and they're doing like they're being their own marketplace, right?
Why?
Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't, I mean, then you have to take some dives into that room and just listen to what's happening in that room.
Pips lives in that room. What is she talking about, Pips?
I don't know. I can't tell you. We're branding, we're marketing, we're doing everything every other community is doing. She may see something else or have her own perception of what's going on, and that's okay.
I think that when Pips is in the room, the community is actually forward facing. So they're actually telling the honest truth about the NFTs. And for example, I want to buy a 3.69 NFT from Low Easy when I have that money. Like, I made that communication with him. That's a personal trade, which is an okay thing, in my opinion, right? So that's a private, like, yo, when I get that, I'm gonna give it to you, no problem. But to use that as the first environment for this 1,000 community of babies, and like, oh, I heard I should get onto crypto pills, and it might be a little confusing.
Well, I'm just using this as an example. So if you just want to follow along with me, I'm just going to go through. This works with any asset, any project. The first thing that you're going to do when you find the asset is you're going to see that there's a search functionality, and you can put in crypto pills, and there's going to be a whole bunch of different search functionalities that are going to come up, right? None of these have a blue check mark, and none of them are the actual real version of them. I'm almost curious. I want to open up all these to figure out if they just have the same name or whatever. But here's what happens in a lot of these projects. People hear about a project name, they either don't know how to spell it, don't know what the visuals are associated to it, or they're trying to figure it out in the heat of the moment when all the action is happening, and they fumble the ball. So I'm just going to click on one of these, which was one of the assets, and because it has the blue check mark, that's a verified collection, so that just gives me the trust that this is a real asset. And then by clicking on this blue hyperlink at the top, it's going to bring you to the collection page. So over here is where all the different assets are going to go. So when you hear people say the floor is, the way you discover what the floor is by hitting this little button that says buy now, and then using the low to high functionality in this filter, which is going to show you right here that 0.1666 is the lowest one that you can actually buy. So this is the floor. So it goes from 0.66 to 0.67, 0.68, 0.69, 0.7, and it looks like there's a lot more people who are willing to hold to get the 0.7, which is pennies, for these other three. So if somebody wanted to sell their asset, and obviously this one's not selling, it might be because the person that wants to buy it doesn't want to spend the money, or they just don't like this version of pill. So in order to get this floor lowered, somebody would have to list this for 0.165, or a fraction below this number, which would create a lower floor. And if that one doesn't sell, then they could either reduce the price, or another person will drop to their floor again. Another term you're going to start hearing in this space is sweeping the floor. So what that means is they want to move it to 0.8, so they're going to have to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these assets, and by buying 8 of these assets, the floor goes from 0.16 to 0.18, right? So this allows everybody in the project to benefit from it, because now the asset's lowest purchase price is 0.18. So if you wanted to sell this for 0.16 for 0.18, you're going to make a 0.02% increase, which is not even worth it with the fees and gas fees and everything else associated to it. So I highly unrecommend doing that. But if you wanted to, you could. Another thing you need to be aware of is this price is in Ethereum, and Ethereum moves based on the fiat dollar that we know and measure most purchases. So I installed a bunch of different things inside my Google Chrome browser that helps me make decisions at a better speed. This one's called Gas Now, and this allows you to identify what the current gas price is at the moment. So the gas fee is the price that you have to pay to make a transaction, and that money goes to the different miners that are running computers and verifying on the network that the transaction is true, and they get this money. Now, when you have a highway and there's only so much space and so many lanes, there's not enough room for all the cars to go when there's a lot of demand to get from rush hour from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So the toll goes up because there's more people trying to use the highway, and that fee increases substantially. Sometimes it goes like super high. I've seen it go up to 4,000, which is way. So you got to be really careful and understand that not all gas fees are the same. You can increase the gas fees to make it go faster so you can beat other people on the network. You can choose to slow it down and it might take a lot longer, but if you're trying to acquire an asset and there's a race to do so, by reducing your gas fee, you're not only not going to get the asset, but you're going to pay a fee, and you're not going to get the transaction to go through. So you have to learn that. We're going to have to teach a whole class just on, you know, when and how to increase your gas fees in MetaMask. They changed the UI UX recently, so it's not the same. But the next thing I have installed is the price of ETH. So right now the ETH price is $2,846. Maybe 2 weeks ago it was $3,500. So you have to also be aware that you can measure your gains in ETH, or you can measure them in dollars. If you're going to be measuring them in dollars, you're going to have to do a lot more math. So you can click on this asset and it's going to give you the USD value of $469.25, which is what this ETH is evaluated at this time. Now, if this ETH goes up, the value of this asset goes up, and the only thing that changed was the Ethereum price. So sometimes you're going to see that the floor in ETH is going to move, and it's not because people are moving the money around and trying to sell it for more or less. They're just trying to keep it within the same USD price to keep it at the level that they think that they can get for this asset. So you got to be aware of that as well. So after having those two in here, I have the ability, I think this is it, cryptocurrency converter. This is something, sometimes I'm trying to figure out things, so I put in 166 and, oh shit, just closed the window. But that window gives me the ability to identify what the gas translates to. So if I put in 0.166, it's going to generate that for me to understand what the USD price is. And sometimes you're not going to be able to see it on the screens that you're looking at. So that's another little trick that I downloaded. It's in the Google Chrome store, and I put a list of all these different in the mural board, so you can download all the iPhone apps that I use, as well as all the Google Chrome extension browsers and websites that we go to on a regular basis. So let's go to this page again. I want to show you this area. See, I can't even find it because I can't spell it. Crypt, C-R-Y, crypto, pills. Alright, so here's another area that I want you guys to get familiar with. Looking at OpenSea, most people don't realize this, but there's these three little tabs right over here. So these tabs show you the properties of this asset in the metadata. So if you see this one has a 0.1% have diamond wings, 0.08% have ice. So each of these have different traits. If I wanted to, I usually right click and open in a new tab. I right click and open so I can see that by clicking on that trait, it's now going to open all the other assets that have that trait that are for sale. Oh, if I want to go for buying now, I hit this button and it will show me what I can buy those diamond traits for. What's up, Johnny?
Sup.
So we're going over all the different things that we can do on OpenSea and educating people on how to read this information in a comprehensive way. And I could probably do screenshots and take this information into a like a step-by-step tutorial, which might make sense. But for right now, I just want to walk you guys through it. So over here on the left-hand side, this gives me the ability to track how many different traits there are. And if you're looking for a specific trait, you can just filter it by clicking on one of these different assets. So right now we have ice clicked. Let's say maybe I like a specific hat or something, and I want to buy something that resonates with my personality, not because it's worth a lot of money. And okay, I'm a surgeon, so let's say there's a surgeon cap. So I'm gonna go, hey, this is me. I want to pay 0.4% because I like this version, right? So there's different ways for you to identify your the the character that you want. You can sort it by this. The next thing that I want to show you guys is these links over here. So one of the first things I do when I look at a project is I'm looking at the Twitter, the Instagram, the Discord, and then the website. So I open these in different browsers and I start taking a look at what the community looks like under the hood, right? So we can see the artwork, we get it, it looks cool, okay, or it doesn't. It depends on your taste, but if you now take a look at the website, you're gonna say, okay, how well did they create the story and the information to make me want to participate in it. So you scroll through in here, I see M&M's connected to this, so that's kind of cool. There's a little roadmap, so you can go through and see what the roadmap is able to share, and then has a link to OpenSea, has all the links that they need to the social, so you can check that out. So that's pretty cool. So let's go to the Instagram. I never really looked at this, so I don't remember what it has. But the Twitter has 391 tweets, so that's pretty active, and they got 6,967 followers. So to me, this tells me that there's enough people in this space that care enough about this project to follow the page. So there's a little bit more opportunity for the long term. And then I'm looking through and look, there's t-shirts, people are making t-shirts, they're making iPhone watch, little things, and this is a good thing. It's called user generated content, right? So when you have a project and you have enough fans that are over here and identifying, oh, I like this project enough to invest my life energy into creating assets and things like that, it's just going to be really cool and a lot of fun for, I don't know why it's not loading, but you got, that's an indicator for me to know that there's a strong community behind it, that they're willing to put love and energy into the project, to grow it and share it with their social media and everything else. So there's another area on here that I want to share with you too. This is called the activity tab. So the activity tab is on the top right hand corner next to the website, and if you click on this, this gives you the charts and the activity of what's being sold. So you can filter it by the listings, the bids, the transfers, and the sales. If you click on this and remove sales, I want to just show you this so you can see. There's this one person who's making offers on all these different pills. So that's super suspicious. Why would somebody within minutes be offering this many offers? So what I do is I right click on this link and open this over here, and I say, who is this person? What do they have going on over here? So they own one pill and they're making offers. So either this is a human or it's a bot. And if it's a bot, it's because we can't really tell based on the name or the wallet address at this point. But these are things that I want you to be aware of, that this person just made 0.13, 111, 111, 0.111, all these probably over 100 different offers over a course of, it looks like they've been doing this for some time. So either they're trying to scoop up a thing to flip it, or they really want more pills. But you got to be aware of these accounts that are interacting with these contracts. It looks like he's not alone. There's another one here that's making, they're
Alex,
listing them.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
So how do you know that the followers on their
size of their community is. And so how do you know, like, you know, the size of their community is something real and not just fake followers that is kind of like drawing you in, kind of like this bot situation that you're talking about?
Okay, so let's figure that out right now. Let's go back to the page. I'm gonna hit the back page, and we're gonna go in, and I'll show you what I would do. I don't know if other people in this room have better tools than I do, but I would Google. Um, I would take this link, right click on here, copy link address, and then I'm gonna go into a new browser window, and I'm gonna say, okay, audit Twitter account, fake followers. Let's see what this brings me up with. So it says follower audit. I actually know another one, but I don't. I want to just show you what I would look for. So let's Control V. Crypto Pills is the name of the Twitter account. I'm gonna put the @ sign here so it makes it work, and makes me log into my Twitter account. See if this works. Alright, so here we go. It's showing me that the FA score is a 97%. And we're looking at the growth of when this account started and how it grew. And it looks like it's been growing organically over a period of time. It doesn't, let's see, detail followers. So let's see if there's anything that makes like a lot of information pop off this page that make me go, follow the 900 of those don't have a bio, which I don't know if that means anything, but followers without URLs, followers with less followers. So this is just, here, there's 266 with spammy names. So if there's any bots or anything, not that this group of people, so some projects might buy bots or followers, but sometimes bots just get gravitated towards specific accounts for whatever reason. But let's look up somebody who we kind of have an idea, like who's a celebrity that we can do that would give us a cross-reference point to identify who has a real account or not. What celebrity do we think probably has some fake Twitter account followers?
Justin Bieber.
How do you spell his name?
Justin.
Jeff the Entrepreneur.
Biezer. I don't know if I comes before you, this guy or not.
Hold on, I could spell Jeff. I can't even spell entrepreneur. You're gonna have to help me. Either.
Justin.
Let me just Google it.
Sorry, my thing cut out. What is that? I'm just, yeah, Jeff the Entrepreneur. We could potentially buy him. He's not a high class influencer.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
All right, so I found it right here. So here's the link to his account right here. So we got Justin Bieber. I think that's how you pronounce it. And we're gonna copy this link in here. I don't know if he has real or fake accounts, but most of these celebrities highly likely do not have. Okay, so here, look, 4 million people it's saying are fake. 4 million out of 99 million real ones. Right? So that's pretty wild to me, right? So somebody said Snoop Dogg. Do we know his username on Twitter?
Kazuma Di Medici.
Who's Medici?
I guess you don't know about that. Snoop Dogg was just doxxed as an NFT influencer named Kazuma Di Medici.
Oh, I do know about that. I just didn't know what that was. Yeah, he's worth $17 million in Ethereum, right?
Ooh, Snoop.
Yeah, he has a whale wallet worth 17 million.
Look at that.
Alright, I'm gonna just try this and see if this is his Twitter name as well. Jeff the Entrepreneur.
Hey Alex, could you just mute? I think, or Coach Jay, I think your mic's hot, and you're cutting in and out for me, Alex. I don't know whether it's the same for everyone else.
Yeah, he's cutting in and out.
I'm sorry, guys. I actually have a long. It's not his account on here, so that didn't work. Let's try Snoop Dogg just for kicks. Snoop Dogg Twitter.
Yeah, we got 22 people in the airtime room today.
I got probably over 150 people in the clubhouse, and we've been inviting people all day over to airtime so they can come and hang out with us.
Alright, bet.
So let's see, Twitter. Let's go in here, put this in here, Snoop Dogg. So, authorize app. Come in here, do a little audit action, and it's saying that Snoop Dogg tweet. That's not him. So maybe his name changed? I don't know. Let's
Dude,
just.
Snoop Dogg's gotta have S. Snoop Dogg. I mean, let's see.
Okay, so for this account, half of his followers are fake.
Yo, what website you using one more time?
We're streaming live on airtime, so if you want to follow along with us, you can see us. We're streaming on YouTube as well, but the website I'm using right now is twitteraudit.com. So somebody asked earlier, how do you know if these projects are running without fake followers and everything else? I'm not condoning or saying that this is the website. This is how I would go about identifying. I would use a few of these different websites and identify if I feel like there's something fishy. I would use these type of tools to identify whether or not the project has been buying followers or doing things like that just to create hype or false sense of reasons to buy, right?
Ooh. Okay, so the point of all of this is to be able to.
Alex, real quick, I just
Not
came in
get
late.
duped.
Where on YouTube are you? I'm at NFT Tips on YouTube, but I can't find the live feed.
I'm on my own page, Alexander Mazai, and I'm going to be sharing the videos on the.
NFT Tips?
Yeah,
Okay.
when
All right, wonderful.
after
Thank
they're
you.
done. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way I could stream from multiple YouTube accounts yet, but I'm slowly learning how to use OBS and get everything going. Eventually, my goal is to stream to Twitch and multiple other platforms all at the same time and generate content that's going to invite people to come follow us over here at Airtime and on Clubhouse. So there's communities of people who've never heard about NFTs before. They learn about them, and then we invite them to come and join and learn with us.
That
That's
is
a
how you
sad
do it,
trumpet.
everybody. I was interviewed on
Be like
Twitch
triumphant
for the
trumpet.
first time for me because I'm late to lots of games, but to promote what I'm doing. So multicasting, it's great, man. Good luck with all of it. I'm going to be watching you and learning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Now I'm getting an
I'm about to
echo.
come over there on Clubhouse and do a raid. I'm gonna come steal people from their Clubhouse room and get them to come over.
Definitely a minefield trying to do the multi-streaming though. Hey, Alex.
What's up, buddy?
Just bear in mind that Twitter, audit Twitter thing, says that it gives authorization to post and delete tweets for you, engage with your tweets, etc. So careful of that. Apps that actually have control over tweeting for you and other things.
Alright, so how do we get rid of this now? I don't want this on my account.
I'm just saying, use it with another account you don't use or something. Just be careful.
But I just signed up with my account!
You can go to Twitter and probably remove any apps. Here, it says actually the bottom. You can revoke access to any app at any time using the apps and sessions section of your Twitter account settings.
Where are you looking?
I just followed Alex too.
Hold on. Alright, we're getting rid of all this shit. I don't know what it is. We're getting rid of it. I don't want any of these people to revoke app permission. I don't even.
I ran off that cliff with you, Alex.
Alright, well, you're gonna run off the cliff and you're gonna get your hang glider and we're gonna fly back to winning.
I was here reading the fine print.
Alright, I don't know what half this stuff is, dude. I gave everybody access to my stuff and then I'm gonna get hacked and then it's gonna be my own reason. Connected apps. Nifty. What is this? Who signs up for this stuff? I just click buttons. I don't even read. I just go, oh, okay, I need this. Well, alright, you see what I'm doing here? The next thing I'm going to teach you is how to do this with your MetaMask. So the people who know how to get a MetaMask, we're going to show you that this information is also being stored on your MetaMask, and this is super important for you to remove. I don't even know what that is. This looks like it's okay. I'm going to leave that one. But yeah, I do this with my MetaMask all the time. I don't know what that is. I'm going to leave it. Who's Stefano? I don't know who he is. Remove. Account. Collection. Valuables. I don't know why I do this. Remove. Security. Apps.
Good morning. Shout out to everybody that's in the airtime room right now.
Airtime media. Should I leave them? Maybe. Follow audit app. I did this a few times.
I missed this where you actually did stuff in real time when you go on the journey.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Johnny.
Right?
For sure. Like, it's a really good thing.
Alright, what the hell's a Kawaki wallet? NBA Top Shots. Remove.
I have Vine that has
Yeah,
permissions on my Twitter.
Rally, I'll leave. MailChimp, I don't know what this is. Remove. Alright, the other things I think I'm gonna leave for now because they look like, I don't know. I'm never gonna use a Kawaki wallet.
Kawaki wallet is a Tezos wallet.
I just removed it. I don't know what it is. Never used it.
Oh man, now you won't be able to buy my Tezos NFT if you remove the Kawaki wallet.
I got a Temple wallet.
Okay.
Alright, so we're good here. Now the next thing is look at the MetaMask. You're gonna click on here, and I'm gonna put in my password if I remember it, because I don't remember anything. And let's go in here. So I go in this little 3-dot area right here, and it says connected sites. So I don't even know what this is. Delete, disconnect. So if you don't want to stay connected to OpenSea, you disconnect and you delete all the things. So every time you go to a website and it asks you to connect your wallet, it's being stored inside this wallet. And if something happens with that and they get hacked, they potentially have a wormhole into your wallet.
So what you're saying is, after you're done doing your business on these sites, it'd be smart of you to remove the site access to your wallets.
Yeah, absolutely.
To lock your wallet back up.
Absolutely. You want to have safety? Go. Do you have the audio on the video playing, or is that me?
No, mine for your live stream. I don't know what everyone else has seen, but mine has been saying syncing for everyone since I joined the room. I haven't seen the live stream.
Okay, so it was me hearing myself as an echo. It was super annoying. So maybe I could refresh that. I don't know. Pause, and I'm gonna hit.
It was good for us to hear that, Alex. What was being said from the airtime, just so you know, in Clubhouse. When it was turned up, it was good to hear other speakers.
What's good, Joes?
What's up, Quasar?
Good morning, brother.
So when I would lose Alex yesterday, what I would do is I would exit the room. So I would actually exit airtime, then quickly jump back in, and then his audio would pop back in.
All right, let me try.
Every once in a while, just because of all of the OBS stuff. Yeah, sometimes he'd even stop being able to hear us.
What?
So, yeah. Can you hear me right now?
Of course. Take your stupid helmet off so we can hear you, Quasar.
Good morning, brother.
All right. All right.
It's working now. Yeah, now can you see it now? So every once in a while, it's just when he's jumping between.
All right. So the next thing I look at when I'm looking at a project.
Thanks, bro.
Is this other website that I shared yesterday. So if you guys come into the airtime right now, I'm gonna share that link again, and I'm gonna share it. So if you're not watching the live stream and you're not in the airtime, you're not gonna know about this website that I use to get some high access information. Which keyboard do I have to use? This one.
Ancient Chinese secrets.
Ancient Chinese secrets. What you know about ancient Chinese secrets?
Ancient Chinese secrets.
Dude, that's so funny. We just looked at that commercial the other day. So that's the link. I'm gonna go on this computer and share what I would do for this project so you guys can see it.
Oh, yo, I understand what's happening. Guys, make sure that since we are actively listening to Alex speak through airtime, turn the volume down on the video that we're watching his live stream all the way, because we just need to see it visually. We're hearing him speak right now. That's where the echo is coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just point on, you guys just have to select the screen that you're watching Alex is on, and then towards the top right, you'll see the volume icon. Hit it, and then slide it all the way to the left. And you'll still be able to hear Alex, though.
Alright, so this is weird. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not seeing it successfully find it. So let's see artwork. Let's see if it goes under here.
George.
Collections.
Morning, George.
Yep. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Aloha, aloha.
Aloha.
So for the people who don't know, we have video chats, and you guys can see me and some of the other people in airtime that come on stage over there, which gives you another layer of communication and connection points, so you guys can start to learn each other. And then eventually, when we start doing real world events around the world, you guys are not going to only be able to identify people by their audio signature, but you're going to recognize them because you've been seeing them for years inside airtime.
Years, bro. What the fuck? It better not be years before the first party we have.
No, we're going to be at the New York live thing. Alright, here it is. I just found it. So we type in the Crypto Pills project, and now this is going to give me access to other information. So this is a cool way to see who owns what in a very user-friendly way. So it looks like some of the images weren't updated. So if you want to see the same information, what you do is you click on the asset. This is stuff that it took me like a long time to figure out because nobody actually handheld me and walked me through it. You click on this details panel and you click on the contract address. Now this is going to bring up this website called Etherscan, and the first time I looked at it, I'm like, what am I looking at? This is absolutely horrible.
The Matrix.
This is the worst, right? So when you click on this area right here, it says the tracker. So it shows you Crypto Pills by Micah, and then you click on this. Hopefully it will open, and I don't have to open it. I'm gonna have to open a different type of browser because for whatever reason it's not working.
Etherscan.
Yeah, this is fun stuff. What? This is Chrome. Alright.
Blockchain backdoor.
Yeah, this is where all the data is. So if you don't know how to learn how to read this, you're gonna be behind.
This is the transparency.
Yeah, you're gonna be behind, so far behind.
Etherscan.
Etherscan.
All right, so let's explain this to people that don't know what the F we're talking about. Etherscan is a way for you to view the trends that are happening right now amongst NFTs.
So I just reopened a different window so you could see it. So I clicked on that little link where now I'm looking at the actual token Crypto Pills by Micah Klein. So the first thing you're going to be able to see is when all the transactions have happened. So this one happened 1 hour ago, 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago, 9 hours ago. So as of right now, this isn't really like a lot of action that makes you go wow. But I look at this number right here. Transfers is 17,000 and the max supply is 10,000. So when this number is higher than the total supply, that means that there's a lot more volume traded than the amount that were delivered. The next thing I look at is how many holders there are. So there's 2,245 pill holders. So when you click on this area right here, it shows you holders and it gives you a list of all the people. So thanks to Johnny Kaplan, he discovered if you click on this little area right here, token holders chart, I like clicking on that and bringing this from 100 to 500. So now I can see the top 500 holders and it shows me 535, and it goes and scrolls down and gives you a list just like the other website, but now you can actually see the assets that are in the wallet. Right now I just see a number and their wallet address. So if I want to take this wallet address and see who this is on OpenSea, I copy this link, not this link, but this wallet address. I open up OpenSea, so I put in OpenSea.io, and then I put a / and hit Command V and hit that enter button, and this is going to give me a website link to the wallet so I can see inside that wallet address. So when you're looking on Etherscan, it's just a wallet address, and it's super hard to read these wallet addresses without being able to understand like who's associated to what. So once you start learning that you can copy and paste it, this account is called Crypto Billionaire. So the Crypto Billionaire has 535 pills, and now we can make an association with this wallet address and this name. So I've been known to create Google Sheets and track all these different players in the space so I can identify who's who and see when they're moving in and out of projects so I can get on board at the right time. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. There's a lot of different things that needs to be put together, and if we can have teams of people who are working around the clock doing the data dives and the data digs, we could potentially have some really cool success. Here's another thing that just made me think of something. I want you to think of this. This is like top level, top secret stuff. If you're not in the airtime or watching the YouTube stream, you're not going to be able to see this, and you're going to lose out on this really cool information. And this is where I find the word is triangulation. And this is one of the things I was sharing with people earlier, is how people don't realize that they're now revealing their identities and sharing way more information than they might know. So if you come into Bored Ape Yacht Club, so you put in, I'm going to put in the quotation marks in Google. If you don't know that this is a specific term associated to Google, so when you have the quotation marks, anything inside those quotation marks, it has to have that in there in order for it to come back as a result. So I'm going to put in Bored Ape Yacht Club, BAYC, and then I'm going to put in 201, and then I'm going to put in the word Twitter. So what I want to know is it possible that the Bored Ape Yacht Club owner of asset number 201 has put it in their Twitter bio? I don't know. So it looks like they didn't. So then I went to 202. I did this for like 1,000 of them. Doesn't exist. So let's go Bored Ape Yacht Club number 3. So right here. So now I found the Bored Ape Yacht owner Twitter's account for ape number 203. Let's see if it's in here. So this actually owns 4724, right? So now I'm going to go to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and I'm going to go in here and search for OpenSea.io, and I'm going to search in the Bored Ape Yacht collection, Yacht Club collection, and now I'm going to search for this number. Control V. So if I can find this number, which is this guy right here, so allegedly the guy who's saying that he owns it, he's revealing his identity on Twitter, and he's sharing us his wallet address. So now if I want to go into his vault, I can now see all of his other transactions that he's made on the blockchain.
You've also got on Twitter the sales bot. So in the case of crypto pills, you've got the sales bot, which you can go and see, and it will actually tell you each time a sale, it'll take you to the transaction and the item, and then you can get to the wallet. It's easier and stuff.
So walk me through that. What do I got to do? Do I have to sign into another Twitter bot thing?
No. If you're on Twitter, for instance, go type in a crypto pills sales bot.
I'm on Twitter.
It's another Twitter account that prints out every sale.
Alright, I'm going to close this window out completely and go back to my original tab. And we're going to go into Twitter. And I'm going to put in, does every project have one of these?
Most of the decent ones, it'll be a cross between inside their Discord or on Twitter like this. A lot of them are doing it on Twitter because it's much better marketing, right? That people can just repost it, retweet it.
Alright, so I'm putting crypto.
What it does is every time there's a transaction, it posts it, which is great on many levels.
Crypto pills.
If you follow that account, you can see every sale you get tweeted at every time there's a sale, and you can actually go straight to the transaction, see the item, see who sold it, see the transactions, get to the activity of that particular thing, get to the wallet of the wallet holder, go see what else they've got. So it's kind of a good place to I always like doing that because those are real amounts, and you see like a dollar amount and an ETH amount, so it's something you can kind of identify with.
Okay, so I found the account. It's at CryptoPillsBot, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
So there's only 260 people following this account. So either people don't know that this account exists, or they don't understand
exactly
it.
Right.
Huh?
No, that's exactly right. Because think about it. There's 2,300 holders, right? There's thousands of people who love Misha's work. Nobody knows about it. They set it up. That's what I'm telling you. Because there are resources like that, which are like automated bot. Like that's it to you in your face. You don't even have to go looking for it. You kind of follow these things, and it'll send you the information you're looking for. I find that one really, really effective.
So I'm gonna make a new area for. This was called roadmap. Hold on. Alright, I'm gonna put an area for this information that we just learned together. So I'm gonna shrink this screen a little bit so we can have both screens here, and we're gonna just drag and drop this account right here. So this is the Twitter bot account, and let's explain to the people who, if they just find this, they'll be able to identify what this does, right?
Yes, sir.
And where did you learn about this information?
I was sitting in one of their rooms because, like, so what you were saying before pays, right? You have to go to the Discord, right? You have to check out what's going on this. You have to see how many. It's a project, and there's like 10, 20, 50 people, even under 100 people in the Discord. I kind of like. I'm not sure it has enough substance, but if it has, a few hundred, 1,000, more than 1,000, there's some traction at least with the project. So I go to the Discord and then obviously Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, but Clubhouse is easier. So you come into Clubhouse and you find the Crypto Pills fan club, and that's been running, I think, for like 30 days non-stop since the drop. The drop sold out in like 11 minutes, and then they made this fan club. So I just go and drop in there to see what's going on, and I always hear like updates. And it's a great place to kind of hear. I don't love Discord as much, so I kind of just happen to hop in a Clubhouse room. So I heard it in a room, and then I went and followed it, and I saw the same thing. There was like 230 people. So I think it was mentioned once or twice, but then otherwise no one else really knew about it. So this is a great resource. It's free. You can follow it, and it will tell you every time. For me, it was really exciting. I'll tell you why. Last week, like there were people buying ones for like 50 grand, 75 grand, right, in fiat money, like between 16 and 18 ETH. And those were like the super rare ones, right? That's what you see in the project, right? People like grabbing all the rare ones. But then I saw like a 50 grand sale, 16 ETH for just like a really kind of like, it was a nice one, but really middle of the road, like absolutely middle of the road. So for me, that was a big market indicator that things are changing, that it's not just people trading those super rare ones, but like people are now grabbing up any of them, they're paying big money for them. So like that information is important. I wouldn't see that if I went to OpenSea and clicked activity once in a while, because it takes a long time to get through it. So the live feed is something that pops up on your screen the whole time. It's kind of easy to follow, and you can identify trends from it.
That's super useful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thanks for hosting the room.
Oh, look, we got Bronwyn in here. I'm just curious to see how she's been. I haven't heard from her in like 4 months. Hi, Bronwyn. How you doing?
Hey, Alexander. Listening to your voice, it just makes me feel nostalgic. I'm so glad I've been waiting to hear back how was your wedding and where have you been. And Joseph told me in a room yesterday that you're back, and so I wanted to say welcome back, and it's lovely to hear your voice, and I hope you're well, and I hope your wedding went really well. Are you well?
I am well. the wedding was spectacular. We're growing. Now that I'm working on getting integrated back with the community, I decided that one of the biggest fails of all times that we didn't do properly was document the journey of where we came from. So my solution was to stream on YouTube Live. So we're streaming now live, and that gets saved in YouTube, as well as Airtime, which is a new app that we're now going to be opening rooms on, and you can see videos. So I'm live on video. We're streaming the audio from Clubhouse right now over to Airtime, but eventually we'll be over on Airtime doing this same kind of walkthrough. I'm streaming all of the data that we're doing together here on the screen so you could follow along just like we did in Discord, but the benefit is that there's a little tiny chat window, and anything that was shown or shared in the content of that chat, it doesn't disappear when we close the room. It lives forever. So as we're growing as a community and learning things step by step, we're going to be able to document that and keep it together. So that's super awesome. And I just look forward to seeing us grow as a community even stronger than ever before.
That's wonderful, Alexander. Do you want me to tell you a little apocryphal story about me? Have you got a second?
I got 2 seconds for you.
Okay, you remember the moment that you walked me through making a MetaMask wallet, and 50 people followed me, and they all got the MetaMask wallet. So when I did that, so that was way back March, right? So I stayed in the NFT community, and NFT tips community, and I stayed listening to everything and looking at various projects. So at a certain time, a now famous project, which wasn't anything more than just one of the projects coming through the space, called Bored Ape Yacht Club, came up, and I spent hours and hours looking and choosing and picking what I was going to do, and I really worked hard on it, and I looked for things that might be rare, and just really tried to do it. It's going to be my first NFT purchase, and I was, I just sort of thought, could be interesting, the community could be interesting, I could do my money in, but it wasn't a lot of money. So I continued to try to use my MetaMask wallet. And I tried to buy those, I had 5 Bored apes that I picked out, some, that I thought had rare attributes, etc. And I tried for so long to buy those Bored apes, you couldn't believe it. And every time I would try to go and get the MetaMask wallet to work, it wouldn't work. It just continued to not work and not work and not work. And I didn't want to, bless your heart, Johnny, you're on the stage. I just couldn't bring myself to ask people to help me. So I just thought, look, I'm technically not up for it. I don't know what to do. And I just continue to try, frustrating me on my own. And of course, in the end, the story is that those 5 Bored apes that I didn't buy are now cumulative worth of about $1 million. Do you know when I got my MetaMask wallet fixed? I got it fixed 20 minutes ago, Alexander. Me to figure it out. And what was going wrong was it was on my mobile phone, and they hadn't onboarded me. There's something K-Pack or something. They hadn't qualified and onboarded me, so I was blocked by the app. So it's taken me that long to figure out how the hell this MetaMask wallet. I have it, and I've got my power-ups and everything, but it's taken me till 20 minutes to go. Just had an onboarding with some guy in India, and I figured out how to make sure this, and it wasn't me, and I was frustrated as to what it was. So that was $1 million interesting adventure that I could have had, but it didn't, but in the end, it's like the community and everything that I've learned from it over this time is such that what I've been able to learn, I'm passing on and sharing and helping others. So I won't take up more time to tell you about that, Alexander, but anyway, it just shows you that I could get to so far, but there's always that little bit of something that, because you don't know it, and it wasn't my fault, I wasn't able to understand that the actual app had to onboard me in case I was some money laundering gangster person. So anyway, thanks, Alexander.
Awesome. I'm sorry to hear that you weren't able to successfully buy a Bored Ape. That would have been life changing, and it's super epic story to hear you sell it for like $100,000 and it bought your next house. That would have been awesome. Um, but what could we have in place to prevent something like that from happening from somebody else in the community? What is a system or a protocol that we can put in place from this point on so that doesn't ever happen again for some?
Technical support team, 24/7.
Yeah, that would be good, Johnny. Look, what I would say too, excuse me, I didn't want to speak over top of you, Johnny. I think what happened and where I did fall down was that, and you know, I don't blame anybody for anything, and you know, it just happened. I never got in. I never got to actually buy an NFT. So I got the wallet, but I didn't walk through the process of buying an NFT. If I could have bought one, I would have seen, or somebody could have alerted me to why the hell I transferred. You see, I transferred money into my wallet, but it wouldn't let me buy anything with it because it blocked me. So I actually got to the point of having money in there, but from fiat, but I could buy it, and I never got to walk through the process of physically buying it. You know, it's so important what you did, Alexander, is to actually physically be able to do it, because if you don't, I think it's okay. I've got it there. The products are going in. I'm thinking it's great. So when it came time for me to do something and to take advantage of something, and again, to everyone that bought an ape and has had life transforming, that's okay, good. I came in to help my friend Toby, and I'm almost to the point now of having, because he's had some mental health issues, of getting the final dose. So I've stayed true to my project and what I want to do, and you know, life is
Shit,
lucky,
what up, George?
and sometimes you're lucky, but I was just a bit pissed that I dumped that turned out to be really good choices, but I couldn't do anything about buying it because something in the MetaMask wallet was stuffing up, and it wasn't me. It was the having to go to the Indian KP something KXY something and be verified, and I didn't know to do that. The other thing that I've seen in the community too, Alexander, why you've not been here, is that a lot of people have been scammed out of their MetaMask wallets because of that bloody QR code. Excuse me, it's late in the night and my voice is a bit cracked. It's the QR code. People were pretending to be people on Discord and pretending to be founders or somebody that's selling the artwork and doing really clever, cunning, manipulative jobs of scamming people. And you know, like Brenda and other people who have been in this space is not just novices. So one of the things that I thought too, and we were talking about this yesterday, was to have learned how to make sure that I had a hard wallet, and that these scammers with this, you know, getting you to override with codes so they could just, you know, empty out people's wallets. And I've watched on Twitter people reporting that, you know, $500,000 worth of ETH and Bored Apes and other things that people have purchased and Cool Cats or whatever it is, all just wiped out. And so I think the hard wallets.
They shut that feature down temporarily because of that reason. I read it last night. They shut down the QR code.
Yo, Alex, I might be speaking for just myself, but we can't hear the people in Clubhouse very well, and it's just kind of awkward because we're like, it just sounds muffled.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to hear them.
But I'm just saying, one of the things that would have been good to do to follow on with the MetaMask wallet would be for someone to have said, you know, here's how you set up a hard wallet.
I really just want to play a Juicy J music video right now.
Level of protection would have been good. So I mean, it's easy to be wise up to the fact. I mean, here's the thing: if I'd have bought the 5 apes, somebody might have scared me out of the whole lot because I didn't know hard wallet would have been up for that maybe, and that would have been worse than if I never bought it in the first place. So you know, I'm just saying that sometimes the progression of things.
So is it all a rip-off, the whole thing?
I sort of bowed out of being on the stage and asked him to walk through. Johnny tried to walk me through to get into the Miami.
That's good.
And people were like, "Oh, don't say that." I said, "I really think it is." And we walked it through for over an hour. And what the problem was, I didn't have my computer and I was on my phone. And when we got to the end, remember, Johnny, and you were so kind, like 3 in the morning your time. And when we got to it, it wasn't working because it wasn't allowing me to use my mobile phone to buy the Teslas. And we were just I kept saying, Joe, I beg you, just buy me the ticket.
sending her the email code and the phone code, right? So it's literally we end up doing everything right, and the tech just failed. So after like hours of trying, even when she said in the first place, can somebody just give me the money and I'll give them the money, and I was like, no, I'm going to teach you. And it was like, you know, I slaved away the morning, and actually the tech let us down, and I was like, Bronwyn, just send me the money, I'll send it to you. Like, this is
Yeah,
I get it. Like she's breaking it. But I mean, that's why I'm making a documentary series which educates people, that are going to show them exactly like Alex is going to showcase someone else doing it. You see someone else do it, you realise how straightforward it is, and you can get over it yourself. But I hear you. It's the tech is not ideal. The terminology isn't ideal, and that's why we're very grateful to forums like this.
All right, Bronwyn, I want to walk through this, and I'm going to write down the list as you make it. What were the key things that you needed to learn to be able to feel like you had the confidence in this space? What, from not knowing nothing, what was your user journey? What did that look like? What were the steps and how you learned things, and the order that you think are the most important for us to educate other people into the space?
Take everybody's time, but you know, I'm here forever. You've never been gone to me. I've always said to people, Alexander NFT Tips, just a visionary, just a visionary. People will tell you, I never forget that people help, and I never forget you doing what you did, Johnny. And the first thing is to sit and listen in a room where you can learn the language, because it is another language, and people don't understand that language. I do now. I was able to give an hour of help to someone who's setting up some support for DAOs for farmers in Australia to set up organic farm cooperatives in the metaverse to help farmers to revitalise across Australia to revitalise the ecosystem. And I was able to give them incredible details of information that I'd learned. So the first thing I think was sit and listen to a room like NFT Tips where people are really genuinely sharing. But I worried about you burning out, you guys, and I worried about the fact that people are getting a lot of great advice, going away, making lots of money, not giving back. So I think for me it was learn the terminology, or have some way of people being able to tell you what does that mean, what does it mean to do. Second thing that was really helpful for me was to be able to ask in real time, and I would sit and listen for 5 or 6 hours, Alexander, before I would ask. But I thought there's lots of people like me who are saying they're hearing what to do, but they don't know. So being able to, the getting the POAP, remember I got that POAP and the whole room burst out into absolute like, whoa, and everybody, but behind the scenes, 50 people followed me. And then when I got it through, I was able to actually help people who were almost at that last step, and they DM'd me and I was able to walk them through too. So I think having the ability to do it, and then as I just said, the next step is, just because I got the MetaMask wallet doesn't mean I know hell about how to buy an NFT. So if I'd have known how to buy an NFT, I would have seen, again, the technology let me down. Because I've got a MetaMask wallet, I could use it as...
Because... Oh, sorry, Robbie, I think it's finished.
No, I'm just saying, and because some place had to qualify me, and nobody tells you that, and it doesn't come up and say, you can't use your MetaMask wallet because you need to come and have an onboarding conference call. Nobody tells me. So if you don't know, the person like myself is new.
I'll be back in a second. I got
said to Johnny after that time with trying to do the Miami thing, I was saying to him, I absolutely am doing everything you're saying. And it turned out that, as he said, the onboarding of the platform, we're in a space that's dynamic, and they build platforms that sometimes don't work. So I think every step of the way, if someone could actually just physically be be able to do it, and people come on and watch do it, and do it in real time, then the next, and the hard wallet, so you don't get scammed out of everything that you buy, and you go back to square one because somebody's conned you with the QR code. Knowing that and being able to say that, so I think in each step of the way, and then being able to like watch someone create a generative art project, that could be fascinating, or a DAO. How do you make a DAO happen? So I think being able to get to learn by doing, watching other people do it, because it's too hard on your own to do it. And it's not just in this space. It took me 5 times to go to the bank this week to try and send money over to someone to animate some of Toby's artwork. 5 times for hours to use their app because it was cheaper than PayPal. And the problem wasn't me. The problem was the bank app system wasn't working. But when you've got someone who's not technically literate, and I spent hours trying to use their friggin' app, and it says it's you can, it's a great app. It's called You Can. It's Commonwealth Bank, You Can, but no, you can't. And then when you go to the bank and the professional people 5 times can't make it work, you start saying to yourself, you know what? Sometimes the people who are using it on the other side will automatically feel bad about themselves. And it would help, I think, to be able to allow people each step of the way, however far they want to go, to be able to say, I'd really like to be able to do that. I'd like to be able to mint something and some NFT and gift it to somebody's wallet, because that would be really nice. But again, if I don't know how to do that, I'll never do it. But anyway, thank you. That's what I think, Alexander. It's really got to be a process of walking on board, or even, and then maybe even having a video that shows to walk on board, so you don't repeat it all the time. And then if you are having problems, as you said, Johnny, some
is that audio better?
Person that could say to me, here's the missing thing. It's not you. It's not your technology.
I can hear you quite well right now.
Is it better?
Not working. The MetaMask
Yes.
wasn't allowing you to
I'm
buy
using
anything.
a microphone.
And they just
Yeah.
don't make it known.
It's much better.
And I think with the MetaMask wallet too, they should have had a massive big red thing up saying, do you really want to open this up because someone can take all your money and all your artwork out? But they put that warning on the screen with the QR code. So as they're warning you not to show anybody what's going on, they've got on the screen with the QR code. Like,
Fucking stupid, yeah.
How stupid's that? I mean, by the time the QR code's up in 2 seconds flat, the scammers have got a photo of it, warning you with the QR code up. Even I would know that's dumb shit. So, and that has cost people their whole life savings. So I think, to me, it's always about, you'll learn by doing. You'll learn by watching people. And I am a good template. I'm a good person who's, in terms of, I work really hard to learn. I've got absolute passion and commitment. I'll do whatever it takes. But, from when you gave me the MetaMask wallet in March, and it's now September, I haven't been able to buy one thing. I lost out on 5/8, and I probably would have been one of the casualties of the QR code too, because my MetaMask wallet, one small step that was their fault, not mine, has prevented me from being able to go on. So that's what I would say, Alexander. Thank you for asking me. It's problem.
That's awesome.
Hi, Bronwyn. This is Andressa here, like right by you. If you're still interested in learning how to work and go around on the Tezos blockchain on Economic and Calumet, I made a step-by-step full of pictures explaining exactly how it goes. I sent to some people. They liked it a lot. It worked. And I also have an onboarding room here under nfts.tips on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So if that interests you, I can help you out.
Thank you, sweetheart. What I'd like to do is go back a few months and get someone on board with the 5/8. That would have been really good. But they can't go backwards. But thank you. I think the community has missed you, Alexander. But we've done. People have risen up, and lots of people have done great things in the community. And that and Teresa is one of those. So we've tried now to continue on. But I love your idea of airtime and YouTubing and doing things like that, because it means that you've got ways of knowing, going back and listening to what other people have said. So thank you very much, and I'm excited to have you back, Alexander, and I'm so glad your wedding went very well, and thank you for everything that you did for this community. It wasn't forgotten.
Awesome. So you inspired me to do something new. I'm going to try this now. I don't know if it's going to work because I'm not that good. So one of the challenges I had, and somebody in the room, I think his name was Milan, helped me out with this. You can go to, I use Mac usually as my main go-to thing, and one of the challenges was not being able to have communication through a PC. I had to set up a whole new rig just to do this streaming, and it was a little bit of a pain. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these screenshots, and when you make a suggestion or you put some sort of information in here, I'm going to put and tag you to these notes so people can come in and see who was the person responsible for this information, right? So now it has a little screenshot of me in the corner, and I took the picture, but now I'm looking at who was the person that made this contribution to the page, and I use Google Keep to move it from my phone to the computer so I can move stuff and drag it right on there into the Miro board so you guys can see everything in real time. So that's just a new habit I'm gonna create, and that's what I got.
Hey Alexander, can you reset the room just a little bit? I'm so excited to hear about what you're doing with the streaming, but I don't really understand how it works.
Okay, so what we're doing is learning how to work as a collective consciousness community. So one of the things that I discovered at the beginning was that we were all orphan nodes running around not syncing to the master file. So the new master file is a Miro board that is now going to be generated by the community. And instead of us just jumping on conversations and not documenting it, we're going to be streaming it live. So there's a blockchain of the old world infrastructure. So all this data will be stored in that YouTube video. So for people who miss something or want to go back to it, they can go back to that video. That video is streaming on, it was streaming, it looks like it's not anymore, but I can re-add it to here unless it's not there for another reason. Let me see. But we're going to be using airtime because I'm on a video camera right now, so you can see me. You can eventually share my screen. It's hard for me to talk and do everything now at the same time, but I'm going to try to do it again. Let's see, add live stream. I'm adding it now. There it goes. So now the live stream is live. If you want to turn the audio all the way down from the stream inside airtime so there's not an echo, and then you take the little white ball on the timeline of the video and bring it all the way to the end, and that will sync it with where we are currently on this Miro board. So what I've been doing privately since the beginning, and I had a whole bunch of different notebooks. I was taking notes, and I can't even read most of my handwriting, so most of that stuff is useless. What I want to do now is identify how to grow this community, onboard people who have never heard the term NFT, and create different ideas or ways for people to move together. One of the ideas somebody shared with us this morning is to create a race where we have potentially multiple leaders or a head of a team, and then small little teams, and we have to onboard that group of people, and whoever gets to the onboarding first wins a prize. I don't know how it would be structured, but that was the idea. All these ideas are now being stored and documented in this Miro board so we can all learn and add. We're creating strategies in different areas. Yesterday I spent 2 hours trying to identify what type of people as far as age demographic would be coming into this space. So we started at a 5-year-old, which could potentially be the youngest person who can use an NFT. So that person would be able to understand Minecraft and Roblox, and parents just throw an iPad into their hand because it's an easier fix than getting a babysitter sometimes. So these kids already understand at 5 years old digital assets and marketplaces and things like that. And it's crazy to understand that a 5-year-old has nothing but time and can sit there and be entertained by videos and everything else. So having the ability to learn what's important for these specific age demographics. So let's just go over this real quick. A 7 to 12-year-old might be in the age range of flipping Pokemon cards or collecting different things. By 13 to 15-year-old, they're playing Fortnite. Their news is coming from TikTok. They're playing games on their phone like Candy Crush. And then I asked the question, why is Candy Crush so addictive? And it's potentially because it's easy to win certain levels, and then they make it just enough to be a challenge so they can make you pay to get to the next stage, but you're winning all these points and you feel good about winning points, so you keep playing the game. But what if you had NFT projects that were designed the same way, where instead of winning points, you're winning actual money? So that was something that came out of yesterday. Then we went up to like the 16 to 18-year-olds, and they're concerned about popularity. There's more of a cliquish We haven't really gone into too deep of a dive of what type of NFTs would be appealing or attractive to them. But then we got the 19 to 25-year-old range, and those group of people, money's starting to become important. They want to become independent. They're possibly going through college. They're dating. So jokingly, I was like, "Do you go on your first date and show her your MetaMask wallet and say, 'Look, I got all these cool assets,' or do you stay away from that conversation?" I don't know, but the future is going to share a lot of new ways of us communicating. Then we got the 26 to 35-year-olds, and I think the things that we discovered yesterday is they like to travel. They're interested in fashion. They want to get a nice car. Some of them would be renting, but we think more would be renting over having a ownership of a property because they just want to kind of live a little bit. And some of them are even having kids at that age. And then by 36 to 45, they're in more of a secure part of their life. They have a steady job. There's a relationship. They're starting to settle. By 46 to 50, they're looking at a pension that they grew investments. They own properties. And then by 51 to 60, they're looking for new investment opportunities, right? So they might not be working as hard, but now they're trying to figure out how to make their money work for them. So if we understand that this is the different tiers of people that are coming into this space, how can we generate content that's going to speak to that group of people so it makes sense for them to come into this space and stay? That's what the organized efforts were for that. We kind of came into some other things that we discovered that would stop people from coming into the NFT space. There's certain archetypes who are entrepreneurial spirited, who want to be trendsetters, and there's other people who are just shy and followers. So trying to figure out what's important to a consumer. Why would a person who knows nothing about NFTs really care about getting into the space? And then where can we show them the value? How can we explain to them, well, these are the things that are going to be most relevant to you? So instead of us just babbling on about all these projects and vocabulary words they never heard, what if we could take a step back and really understand where the person we're speaking to is and come up with a solution that makes them understand, wow, this is kind of cool. I want to learn more. And I think that's the approach that I want to take trying to onboard people into the space.
Fantastic. Congratulations. You're on the right track.
Thank you.
That's amazing, Alexander. It's how do you really teach this new self-publishing business? I would position it that way for all those different segments that you were walking us through. I've done this a bit in the gaming space, and it's kind of so interesting. It's so exciting that with this NFT space, there's a whole new giant. All of you represent this huge community of content creators, so it's super exciting. Keep it up, man.
Thank you. And I think as we communicate and we have little conversations, my goal is to not be the person behind the seat doing this. It's to empower the community to let them know that you guys can do this too. I've never streamed before. This is all new to me. But I'm streaming right now for the first time, giving people access to me in a way that I didn't ever thought was possible. And then eventually you guys are going to say, hey, you know what? I think I could do this. We got poor Marty in the house. When I first met him, he was doing Unreal Engine avatar stuff, and he was like building little characters and sharing his information, doing a live stream, so his face wasn't what people saw, it was the character he created. So eventually maybe, people like poor Marty and other people who are designing avatars can eventually do streams, and how cool it would be if you can have your Fluff or your Bored Ape actually communicate in this information. So they're watching the Bored Ape tell the story, and they're like, yo, what is that? And then they realize that this is your new IP that you now own, and you created a whole webinar using these avatars or these assets to create the content. We don't even know what the future holds.
That's possible now. What's up, y'all? All of that is possible now. It's just you need the tools and the knowledge to be able to do it. It's like I might do it for one of my homies. She has a Bored Ape, and I was gonna like the flat image. I was gonna pull it apart and set it up so she can stream with it. And yeah, if you have avatars, it's really simple to to set like the 3D avatars, you can set those up to live stream. So, but yeah, all it comes down to is knowledge and having the tools.
So
By the
another
way,
key. I'm
the
sorry, go ahead.
learning is as valuable as the structure itself, Alexander. I mean, you could market that unto itself to new people who come in and companies that coming into the space that want that information.
I just realized.
Sure, Francine.
Alexander.
Sorry, David, go ahead.
No, kind of a new trend in tech startups is developed like in public. So entrepreneurs are kind of really publishing lots of these like in-company achievements just on their social handles and things. So there's a lot said about that, about the value of driving your followers just by developing in public or the process of your NFTs. There's in the film space, I've been speaking with a couple people that are looking to create that type of to share that in a film development production perspective, which is super exciting. Kind of opens the door to allow people to really to take part in the production process. As you can think of it as doing different versions. I've done a lot of game stuff, like I mentioned, and just the concept development process. There's so much artwork that's done that never sees the light of day, that has a lot of value for the artist. So there's another couple ideas that y'all might find helpful.
Hi, Alex. First of all, this is Ron on the bottom. First of all, thank you for coming back. Heard a lot about you, and the NFT tips community is amazing. I had the fortune to be onboarded by Tom. I think he left, and as Francine said before, I think I've seen it in the like the WordPress space and other spaces. Like the onboarding, again, it can be done in a kind of like you're doing here, collaborative manner, like white labeled, and I think it's extremely crucial both from the artists and also from the collectors, not only in the space now, but long term, those who are coming from outside the NFT space. And quick question: the Miro board.
You cut off. I can't hear you.
The mirror board, is that in the YouTube?
It's streaming. It's streaming on Airtime on YouTube, and the link to the mural board is pinned to the top of the chat in Airtime.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay. So where's the conversation want to go now? What do we gotta do? What's next? Got Mr. C in the house. What's up, Mr. C?
What's up, people? What's going on? What's been cracking lacking?
You're live on YouTube right now. We're streaming live on YouTube, and we're also in Airtime streaming in there. We got all kinds of things happening, so welcome.
Okay.
And just so you know, I also did take about 4 hours last night to try to build an app in that application, and I stopped when I realized that you can only have 50 people per month using the application, and then you got to pay, and then the subscription model was like obscenely high when you have 30,000 people using it, so I stopped.
You sure? That's external versus internal. Yeah, because I've used it with big corporate law companies, and they've got loads of people, and the license is not that crazy. I also know the director, direct, so we can have a good conversation with him. But he's gonna love the fact that he's got a big company doing NFTs. It's a great use case, so it could be a conversation we have in the back channel.
Okay. I'm just sharing you what my experience was, why I stopped.
We did that with Trello for nfts.tips. I actually set up a whole project management system for the whole team, and like 30 or 40 people joined to it. and then the license fee was just absurd. They changed their whole pricing, and we'd all filled it, and it just kind of became a waste of time.
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking at, because you've got internal and then you've got consumer. The way I look at it, it will be us to the consumers, which will be in the thousands, versus only a few people internally having to edit the mobile app. Yeah, that's where a lot of people sting you, like you said, Johnny, when you try to get everybody from an organization editing a mobile application or editing a Trello board. But in this case, you don't need that many people editing that board. You only need a few people to edit that board.
We're talking about two different things, by the way, too. So the idea was to generate an app that becomes a downloadable asset that the community can use to stay connected and have access to really juicy data.
Yeah, and that's why it's kind of business to consumer rather than B2B. Yeah.
But it is. I wanted to make a point. One of the cool things, just going back to your Trello issue, because I spoke to Glassy about that, is on ClickUp, which I think I sent to you months back, Alex, and you might have had a bit of a play with it. But when you're creating different tasks, and ClickUp is much better than Trello, and you can have guest access, and we can talk about that offline. But what you can do is with the individual tasks is attach a couple of things you might want to consider. Is the time that people are putting into tasks within the community, just measure a KPI. Like, it's not like that type of organisation, I understand, but you can attach certain, how you've done the frames, you can connect a specific frame to a task. So just in terms of onboarding, like when I came in, I was asking where do I go, and you saw I've uploaded a couple of things, but I think in terms of this Miro board, bro, I think you want to think about the onboarding and the journey, like you were asking about before, with the journey coming in and where do you go. Like if someone comes in new and they come and have a look at that, they're going to go, what the hell's going on here? So I would suggest in ClickUp, what you can do is you can actually build a bit of I know coaches use it for a sequential process of their coaching. You can do the same thing for your onboarding. So the first thing they look at in the Miro board would be this, and you can do an embeddable thing, and it shows up in a not a subscription-based thing, like a per-user-based thing, like the issue you said you had with you got to pay for every subscription. It could be guest-based access. They view that. They can still go through the journey where it doesn't cost you a subscription fee for ClickUp, but they still get to go through that sequential process and look at the staged approach and sort of bundle it together in that way. So I'm happy to spend some time offline with you or with Nix or whoever.
If somebody could set it up and we could just plug it in, that makes the most sense to me. For me to learn all these different things, I tried to open that up. It's going to take my brain too long to process that, and then my time's now not used to harness and cultivate the audience. So if we have teams of people, that's why I wanted to create departments. I don't know what department that would be. We'll call it the ClickUp department. I'll just create that, or I don't know. But if we can start isolating teams of people who this makes sense to and it resonates with them, and we can now have those groups of people working together in little sniper teams, and then that adds value to the whole team, that makes more sense to me.
So for one thing, like for starters, Johnny, if you just pull all of you can import everything from Trello into ClickUp. It's a similar type of setup in terms of you can view it as boards or tasks, but you can import every single one of your ClickUp boards in a click of a button, and you just got to, do some pre-setup to link up the different, because you're a bit more advanced than probably when I did it, in terms of your users, your roles, shit like that. But just do a big import, get it in there, set it up. I'm happy to spend some time, Johnny. And Nick, whatever.
Awesome.
And then, like I say, this Miro board, we create because there's your team and the different departments and the members of those teams, but then there's people coming in. like listening to this broadcast for the first time, and they'd be like, "Where do I go? All right, just go here," and it would just sort of take them through a bit more of a guided process of the Miro board.
Yeah. So
just a quick one, Alex. Send me an invite to what you